Hello everybody and welcome back to the thing that I totally had open and then I don't have open. There it is. Spicy. It's not very spicy anymore, is it? It's just this thing with the fun people that we talk about. But yeah, welcome back to roundups and new points and stuff, and yay! And welcome to at this point my regular co-hosts and lovely people all around. We have a Liam.
Sure.
We have a Connor.
Hello, everybody.
And we have Fomok.
Hello, guten Abend.
Yeah, and, one sec. There we go. You thought you were getting Fomok. You're getting a cartoon of Fomok.
Because Fomok is still refusing to put himself up.
Yeah, I'm anime Fomok. I mean, it's one of the better versions.
Cute. He'll move around in a second. Hello, and sorry for the fact that we have some text over cameras. I might put that in a better place soon, but we ran out of places for text, so
it's fine.
We'll deal with that later. Anyway, yeah. So points and stuff and things, and should we do like events before points? Because there's
yes. Which event should we do?
I mean, there was a pretty good event
that somebody called Funwalk didn't bother showing up for.
I mean,
I tried so hard, and you know that.
We have our lovely faces on. Hey, Azagel's actually on time today. What is this?
Oh yeah, I got to play. I got to meet and play Azagel actually.
Nice.
He is a lovely person. He is a lovely person. I need a better place for this chat. Let's try and find a better place.
Oh, that was my FOAces versus something.
Like I saw Azagel's Facebook picture, right? Like that man has beautiful hair.
Well, there we go. Lovely hair.
Well, that was possibly the best thing I've heard all week.
Right.
But man, look at that picture. That's so 3 happy X-Wing players. Like, I like it.
It is lovely, right? I mean, I'm assuming that you guys are fine with just not having. I could share my screen, but do you need it?
No.
Nah.
Should be fine. Should be fine. Right.
Do we need what?
Do you need to be able to see what we're talking about? I mean. Well, I wasn't planning on putting anything massively important on there, so.
No, I've got the stream up as well.
I think we're all good. Yeah.
Well, I'll see. We just have to look into the past.
Right. Where is the chat box? There we go. The chat box is going to move over to here.
Bye, Azagel.
There we go.
Hi, John.
No, it's all good. We got
Hi,
the chat
Liam.
box on over the other side. We got all the people. We got Mark as well. Look at this.
Success.
Look at this.
Perfect.
So
We've got a man called Rhino.
We got a man called Rhino. I mean, I'm fairly sure I know who Rhino is. Rhino is.
I actually know somebody called Rhino.
There's a wonderful ginger man from Wales who is. Everything's fine. Who is one of my groomsmen at my wedding? I'm assuming that's Rhino.
Do not ruin the illusion.
He is actually a rhino. Also, is a prop for rugby, so could put a horn in his head and act like a rhino. So, there we go.
Alright, my little eyes are spying a first place in that picture.
I mean,
Tell me about that.
Can you see the second place as well?
You're saying first and the second.
I actually can't see the second place. Like it's silver and very shiny. Sorry, Liam, but
It is shiny.
I actually can't read it.
But
I assume it's second place, right?
And Liam, do tell us whose body you had to go over to pick that trophy up, you son of a bitch.
Yours? I did it with pleasure.
No, you didn't. You apologized to me so many times. I had to tell you to stop apologizing.
Well, we beat up each other. Hey, some loser. Some loser came sixth. He just MOV'd. Turns out Liam's MOV was ridiculous. Oh, different Rhino. Well, there we go. In which case, hey Rhino, you have exactly the same Discord name as one of my friends.
Texas. It's nice.
He's from ex-Mexico?
Texaco.
Ex-Mexico.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
what Texas is.
I'm pretty sure Texaco is just a company.
Texaco.
But no,
yes.
I've seen the tournament listing, right, for that thing, and that was like highly qualified players you guys have to beat.
I mean,
to be top 1, 2, and 6. So proud of you guys.
Yeah, my MOV was not the best, but I'm very chuffed with 4-1 on that room of fucking sharks.
It was pretty good. I mean, this was all
I had a
before
great day.
points changes and stuff, and turns out A-wings are pretty fun. Who knew?
Yeah, agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, all of us are agreeing to disagree on that one.
Yeah, so I really enjoy A-wings. My opponents do not enjoy A-wings, but thank you genuinely to Liam, because we had a very good game, and he took it very well. Let's just put it that way.
No,
Because
he
you
didn't-
used Vaseline.
yeah, he didn't even wince.
No, it was to be fair, it was one of those games that came down to one or two big engagements, and yeah, it swung
Ollie,
hard.
mate, you never do more than one or two big engagements.
Yeah, because I either win or lose on those. That's normally the way that I do the things. But streaming at civilized time, yes, I have done a 6.5 day work week this week, so I need some sleep. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
I'm up at 6 for work, so I'm with you.
Yeah,
Right.
work. Business, business, business.
Business.
I was shooting a wedding yesterday, so today is just like I'm super dead.
I'm sorry for the Americans in the listening. He's just talking about photographs.
Yes.
Like, maybe, like you know how it is in Europe, right? Like shooting left and right with my gun, pew pew pew.
Okay, now it got sexual again.
We went
Alright,
we
well.
went from Darren back to Funwalk, and then it's a thing. It's a thing. But no, we so I really good time at the tournament. Yeah, it was some interesting lists on display. There was a lot of scary people in the room, and I'm just very glad that I didn't have to play against Krieg with his big scum ships. So shout out to Tim King for completing the Reed Triumvirate and never being invited to another birthday party ever again because he beat both Craig and both of his sons on Craig's birthday.
Good for clarifying.
Also,
Again, not
to
sexual weird.
Lee and Smith. Shout out to Lee and Smith as well for pegging Craig back in the first round
Oh
because
yeah,
he hates people having fun birthdays.
yeah, he does. He does.
Wow.
Oh dear. So yeah, we started off well. Hello, Spike. Yeah, we started off well.
I
But
started off at 9:20 with a beer on my table, so it was a fine day.
it was good. No, the beers were flowing. Everyone had a really good time, and Craig had a great birthday, which was good. So moving on from there, shall we talk about some point? Actually, before we get on to pointy things, I want to talk about this because this was a pleasant surprise, a genuinely pleasant surprise. Because what I was expecting, there was a lot of people complaining about the points are late and everything else, and I was expecting it because AMG had to build a website basically from scratch because no one had thought that they built a website. Turns out, it's much better than the FFG one. So
That's not super difficult.
yes, but that's not the point.
Still,
Shout
like,
out to
we're happy with
AMG
that.
for doing a good job.
Doesn't matter if it was a low bar to beat, they beat it.
They did beat it. It could have been worse. We've been there before.
AMG's current motto: it could have been worse.
Well, they put a gun to the head of the official app and killed it because it was that bad.
It was a mercy kill for sure.
That alignment hurts your eyes. Well, I'm sorry. Let's see if I can fix it for you. Let's make it worse. Let's put it over there just to mess with you. No, it's fine.
Oh no, let's make it worse.
Let's put it in the middle.
Let's
There we
Liam
go.
this.
There we go. It is technically covering up some of my mess. So
No, I think
that'll do.
Rich is more talking about the MG alignment on the website because it's
Oh.
like all over the place.
No, that was actually me
You
and not
can't-
them.
You can't fix it. You can't.
But it's
You
fine.
can't.
We have that. So I think what my intention on this is it's not going to be we're reading through the points and dealing with things. What I am going to do is I'm going to go through each faction. But essentially what we're looking for is we're looking for the winners, we're looking for the losers, and what do we think is going to be a big show in the future.
Well, let's go for the most interesting start of this. I've only been around for 2 points changes, which makes me relatively new. I have lost all 3 of my active lists in both points change by at least 20 points.
Happens.
That means that you are playing the good stuff, which means you're doing it right.
Clearly playing broken crap, Holmes.
Yep. But that's fine. Like you're at the top of the competitive scene. You're like I expect most of my lists to disappear. And in fact, as soon as I know a points change is coming, I will actively try and pivot to some certain things.
Oh no, Scott got us. No.
Oh, there he is. In my defense, Scott, I did not know that FunWhat was going to be on your stream, and he did apologize as soon as he got over here.
Well, sort of. After I called him out.
He also said that I really hope Scott doesn't notice. So there we go. So guys, everyone here should also put Hexile on in the background and boost Scott's numbers, because
Yeah,
Scott's an amazing human. So if anyone doesn't have Hexile Gaming on right now, put Hexile Gaming on a second tab, please.
Gaming is literally always on for me.
Yeah, it's great. Just watch
Gonna
watch
link
it
it
in the
in the
background.
chat.
You should do
I'm
this.
gonna-
You should
Done
go. Look at all those Hexile links I have. You should go to Hexile Gaming, and you should watch Scott.
And sub.
I'm gonna. There we go. I am subbed at the moment. Look at that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that it's muted, because otherwise we're gonna hear Scott talking nasty things about us. But we're gonna put that over there and just let that play in the background. Awesome. Right. Could Funwalk technically do two things at once? I mean, he's got two ears.
He's replaced him with the melodious fucking tune of Paul Sub Hedgehog, who I want to read me bedtime stories.
Ooh.
That
Yeah,
man's
he's
voice.
very
That
rude.
man's voice is just so soothing. Like, oh yeah, tell me all about it, Paul. I mean, I've never had any gay thoughts, but they're coming on now.
I mean,
And-
in X-Wing, like, whew, it's not hard to have,
You've
like...
never had any homosexual thoughts. Questionable,
Well-
Connor. Questionable. I mean, there's a lot
Okay.
of very good-looking people on this podcast. That's what I'm going to say. Hey,
Well,
Liam's
Not with that
got it.
face.
Liam's
We've
got
got no idea what well, you guys have got no idea what Funwalk even looks like. But he's hot. I didn't like these.
I mean, both Liam and Ollie probably saw my Facebook on somewhere. On
You
the-
turned your camera on for us last time we were on. You idiot.
Oh, that's true. forgot
I
about that.
believe that Connor is talking
Yeah.
about the general public that are presently watching the stream.
Yeah, who I have managed to create the world where everyone thinks Funwalk is hot, and he is. So it's okay.
We got Hot Walk. Right.
Hot war. All right, but back to X-Wing. Let's go.
Cool. All right. So what we should do is we should have a look. And I actually want to start off because I think it's important to set the scene for everything else. I like starting off with the generic point upgrades, such as the R2 Astromechs and everything else. So let's have a look at some of these things. I'm going to do the zoomy zoom because we don't really mind too much about the hyperspace and nonsense because no one cares.
Yes.
What we are going to do, though, is...
Big brief pause on that. The next big tournament is next weekend. It is hyperspace and it is new points.
I mean, it's also... Okay. It's also using things that have not been officially updated by AMG yet, which I think is cool to try it out, but I disagree that if you're going to run a international-sized tournament, you should stick to the present tournament rules. But
Maybe.
AMG
That's
could
my
backtrack
2
at any
cents.
point in this process as well, and then
Yeah.
it's been done in vain.
I don't think it's in vain. I mean, why not? Just let him play through it and see how it gets in.
I am curious to see how it goes, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the results. I personally, as a recovering bidder, I had a very large addiction to massive bids, and that is not a euphemism. I am really enjoying the 200-point thing.
Me too. I'm exactly the same. A race to the bottom boy for the last 2 years. More than happy not to have to do it anymore.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Well, I've been running at 200 for how long now with my Zamcher Tech Grievous, which is now 215 because everyone complains about wholesome fun. But
It
it
is
is what
actually.
it is.
I
Wholesome.
bet this weekend it was fun.
Zam is not wholesome fun. That is not wholesome.
No.
And it's okay to be wrong, Ollie. It's just wholesome.
Hey, my A-wing list went down by 1 point. That's what I'm
It's a
saying.
big win.
Yeah, screw you, Sabine.
Yeah, Sabine is now cheaper, although the engine upgrade and the Hawk got more expensive, which is exactly why we're here. So,
Sorry, Ollie.
that's all right. Astromechs did not change. That's fine. The Watchful Astromech, I think, is garbage. If anyone is wondering, that's the one where you do the thing on the action card and you get a red calculate. I need to go through the backlog of cards that allow you to do actions that probably aren't placed on a Y-wing and is placed on something with better blue maneuvers, because that's probably where it's going to be the most useful. Yeah, I don't see the rotate into calculate being useful. I see the action into stuff.
The
yeah.
rotate into calculate, if it gives it save on the new Y wings, you can get 2 calculates if I'm correct.
It's a reload or a rotate. Okay, so you're rotating into a calc. I am thinking the Skirg is probably a better place for this than the. Oh, I'm actually going to go and just look up the card because apparently I'm getting it wrong. Right, Astromech. What's for that Astromech? After you perform a reload or rotate action, if you're in an enemy ship's firing arc, you may perform a red calculate action. There's so many triggers to this. Maybe on a Skurg. It's red. I don't like it.
I wouldn't be against
meh.
a new Y-wing as well with the improvised controls or something, where if you do an action on an upgrade, oh no, I'm dumb.
Yeah, see that.
But you're pretty.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So the Y-wing gets it when it does an action on the upgrade card, but this gets it when you do the rotate. I don't like it. If a Falcon could take it, it'd be great. Dengar would love it if he wasn't, hating being stressed all the time. Nah, I'm not a fan. But I am a fan of this. Pour one out for... We're getting onto the main factor of this later, but I am very happy that autoblasters are up a point. I still wish that they were pointed appropriately to the red dice on the ships, but that's my call.
How would you appropriately place them if you've got 3 dice? They're cheaper.
They are more expensive if you only have a 2 dice primary. If you're increasing the value of your primary, like for an ion cannon, for example, if you have a 3 dice primary, it should be cheaper to take an ion cannon.
I have to say I actually agree with that. Yeah.
I don't hate that. I mean, I've only ever taken it on a 5 spray anyway, so.
Yes, the thing that it was being targeted at, however, was not fire sprays.
Nope.
It was 6.
Yeah. It was the 6.
Yeah,
and to be fair, it was maybe originally targeted at the Eater as well before they just nuked that.
They just went, you know what, we're on board of that fucking mechanic, and that's enough of that shit.
Which is entirely fair. Hey Marcel, you can be angry at everything, that's what we do.
He deserved it. He's Captain America. They went second next to see. So he has
Point
the
you
right
at the enemy, his name is Liam.
No, Rich.
Or Ian.
You carry on spamming chat. We like spamming chat. Keep on spamming.
Love to read Rich, yeah. Like, you have good takes.
I like
I think
Rich.
interesting. Auto blasters, upper point, heavy laser cannon down a point.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
interesting, right?
curious about HLCs down a point. I feel like maybe you could see HLCs on 6. If 6 is still seeing use.
Still a 4 dice attack, right? In the end.
Hexal showed us today Eno flying 8 bloody ties. I thought it was the end. The end of the 3 green swarms. But no, they're back with more options.
Well,
Free Hull Runner, she's back.
But this is the more important thing. These 3 dice ships have 3 hull. And when you consider that a hull upgrade on a 3 agility ship is worth 7 points, it is perfectly okay to have an 8 or a 7 ship list with 3 agility, 3 hull ships, because they can die in a single attack. And everyone has seen, you roll the 3 blanks, you get the 3 blanks, and that annoying little TIE fighter that is an FO TIE fighter lives on 1 hull and never dies for the rest of the game, right?
Same for the 6th, right?
Yeah. Whereas the 3 agility is a massive comparison because sometimes those ships just explode. And yeah, I think that's fine. But yeah, the extra hull was a massive thing.
We dealt with like 8 TIE Fighter Hull Runner Swarm in the release of 2nd edition already. Like, if you look back at that time, like, we can deal with it again.
Yeah. Yeah, with the linked into the Auto Blaster, I think the R7A7 plus Malice was just going to be nonsense. And yeah, as someone who would have really enjoyed using it, I think it is a good thing that does not exist in the game.
Yeah, that's a bit spoiler for Republic later, right? But the ETAs, they all lost their cannon slot and got cheaper for that. But they're losing a lot of firepower, right? They're losing a lot of firepower, but
I will say no. They've lost their cannon slot. It just means they can't abuse the auto crit mechanic and will reward better flying still.
I think they've just disappeared, personally.
Mentioned Talking Dog. Auto Blaster updates ruins my double tapping IGs, but didn't IGs get cheaper by a point? So it's fine.
So exactly the same, right?
Yeah, so it should be exactly the same. I'm going to talk about IGs now anyway, because synced laser cannons, that did surprise me, the fact that synced went up by a point. Were HMPs with synced really that good? I thought that the missile ones were more obnoxious.
Popularity, I guess.
Yeah,
there was a lot of them, and they were scoring relatively consistently in top 8s.
It could also be the fact that they've put another cannon slot on the resistance transport.
Yeah, but they also got more expensive, right? The resistance transporters got the new slot and the price hike. So yeah, I'm not sure about sync laser cannons. I have not enough experience with them.
I'm not.
To have really an opinion.
I don't know. Maybe they had a look at this and said, "Oh God, you can now fit 4 transports with synced in a list." and because of that, the sync now needs to be at 7.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because if
I
that's
can
the
see
case,
that, right?
then
Like the spam.
yeah,
spam of
reducing this
cannons.
is a trend we're seeing everywhere, is that they're trying to reduce spammability a lot more in those upgrades, which is good for me. And yeah, there we go. Padlock it, otherwise it doesn't count. Right.
Nice.
Sensitive
Just
controls.
a little bit to that, right? Like a couple of people were a bit afraid that AMG were not really knowledgeable enough for a points update, but seeing like that they are trying to prevent the sync laser cannon spam and that the cannon
It's all
slot-
looking pretty clever.
Yeah.
It's clever, right? It's clever, man.
From what I've heard from behind the scenes, playtesting is now really back in business. So and of the
they got help.
They have a large amount of help from some very experienced players, and it sounds like they're listening to them. So that is good news. Marcel was just putting it out there. Like, the testers are doing a really fantastic job. Thank you to those of you who are testing. It is really, really important.
Dankeschön, testers.
Yeah, and it takes an awful lot of time. As someone who used to be a tester, for anyone who thinks that being a tester gives you an advantage of knowing stuff before it comes out, you're testing a long way in advance of anything that would be hitting the tables. So yeah, they do a thankless job, and we really appreciate all the work that they do. Something that I really want to have a look at is the titles, and the fact that so many of these configuration titles are now free, basically baked into the ships.
Well, it makes sense. Some prices go up, some go down, and now some of them might actually see play.
Well, this is an about turn on what FFG did, because the whole purpose of FFG doing it was it made the ship mechanic and the chassis a little bit different by adding on these configs. So now I get the impression that maybe they can change it in the future, but they want to try and get this included in the ship to make it feel like that's the ship, right?
Yeah.
And
I also think they've also adjusted some of the points cost of some of the ships to go, well, you may as well take it for free now because it's the same points with it as it was before, so just deal with it.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's nice to see that if you have a look at the points changes on the ships, they've clearly adjusted points with the configs in mind. So for HMPs and droids, for example, they've all gone up by a point, but the config has gone to 0, the struts have gone to 0, so that means that those configs are now just that the ship is the same cost if you were taking the struts. It makes me a little bit sad for the droids, because I always thought it was the correct decision to not take the struts and just fly better. But I mean, it's not terrible. Like, struts are great. It just means
fly better.
Droids
fly
are
differently
now
anyway.
appropriately costed.
No, I really like this change, because especially for droids, like with some lists, it was the correct choice to have struts on some droids and bombers and on some not, because that's 200 points. And now you don't have the problem anymore to see, like, if this droid has the struts, you can do it on the rock, and the other one doesn't. Like, it's a bit more clear.
Yeah, it is. And I think, oh, god damn it. Liam, turn your camera back on. You've ruined my stuff.
Bear with me. I'll be back in a second.
That's fine. So
what happened?
We lost him.
It's fine.
Where'd the camera go?
He'll be back.
Hang on.
But yeah, with just mentioning Rich here as well, he's saying about the no crew on Lebo still for the Outrider. If anyone doesn't remember that one, that was the fact that if you could have C-3PO as a crew on Lebo, you could get a calculate or 2 calculates, and then Lebo gets back a calculate whenever you spend it. So essentially it's just an eternal calculate, right? So you never have to get rid of it. It's really obnoxious. And what we're seeing is AMG is really clamping down on some of those obnoxious combos, like the Eater with Malice and the Critbot. They're clamping down on the Lebo Eternal things, like the Dooku was made really more expensive because you can use it on... a lot of the stuff that are like the haha, you didn't see that combo coming, they're killing, or at least making it really expensive so that you have to pay a premium for it, which is interesting. And I think it's quite nice. Yeah, and as Ravelo is saying, yeah, they stripped away choice, yes. And it was nice to have the opportunity to take it without the config, but I think the main reason that people decided to take it without the config is when that ship was probably undercosted anyway, and then taking it without the config makes it cheaper. At least the ships are feeling more thematic with the config. I agree with Raviolo. I think it would be nice to have that option, but it does make points balancing more easy. But yeah, and B-Wing 4s were garbage, so now they get them for free, which is nice.
Odd question to add before we go, and I'll cede the floor. we're discussing the fact that whether or not this new rule system at about 200 points it's directly relevant to this conversation.
Sorry, say that again.
If it is going to be a situation where the new rule comes in and bid disappears and first player is randomly sorted and there is a negative for not taking 200 points, it's directly relevant to this conversation. Because there'll be a significant number of smaller upgrades, one crew in particular who will see play simply because lists tail it at 199.
Yes, correct. And I think you're going to see the modifications, the talents, the crew that are really cheap. And I think it's going to be, if that change happens, I think they can start to put some of those more interesting choices at 1 point for those filler options. So we'll get to the Whisper later. I think that's worth its own conversation. In terms of Porkchop, Zeb, talking about how, why did they make the Zeb shuttle more expensive? Now, I had to think about this with the Ghost, and what someone told me, and they realised I hadn't checked this, was the reason that they upped the original generic Ghost to because it was 67, it's now 68, is because they realised, because they brought Chopper down to 66, you could fit 2 generic Ghosts and Chopper into a list. Or whatever way. Basically, you could fit 3 Ghosts in a list, and that was nasty. So I think in certain cases they're going, okay, because you're just having one of these and fitting it with other things, this needs to be slightly more expensive. It got a bit weird. I don't know why Zeb is now 33. It didn't make sense to me either. Anyway, moving on. I'm really excited. I mean, Hondo for 5, they've only brought him down by a point. He was okay. I could see him being 4, but he's kind of cool. But this one I'm excited by. Gonk at 5.
That's a heavy discount, right, Gonk? If I remember correctly.
It's come down by 3.
Was quite more expensive.
It was 8.
Yeah.
It was 8.
Was he 8? I thought it was 10.
No, he was
10
originally 10. So since the drop of the game, he has halved in points. And I'm just going to put it out there, Lando Calrissian. That Falcon really likes Gonk.
Yeah.
Plenty of actions, yeah.
Especially if
in
he's
1.0, not so much, because it was still the same action, but in 2.0, it's different actions.
Yep, he can do it. Basically, he can regen a shield per turn. He can regen not just R2-D2, but all the way up to full shields. And if you give him a Force crew, or maybe K2SO, because he's always doing blue moves, then he's also getting actions at the same time as he is able to regen. So Lando loves Gonk. It's interesting.
Exiled. Raiding with 89 people.
Ooh.
Hello, Scott. Woo-hoo.
Wow.
Hello.
Thank you,
One
Scott.
of which is me.
And me.
That's a good point.
Right?
Because
we're raiding back. We're just bringing everything back here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you, Scott, for being a wonderful person.
Also, props to Scott for making the animated Gonk emote, which is like super fitting. Really good timing right now.
There we go. We were just talking about Gonk. Gonk is great. Please spam the Gonks, people. Spam Gonks for Funwalk. And if you can't spam Gonks, that's because you're not subbed to Hexiled, and you should change that by subbing to Hexiled. There we go.
Right, but
I'm sure.
I mean, Gonk as a region option, I think it's fair, right? You are losing one action to get the shield back. It's not just like moving away and disarm, which is boring. It's like consequences, and in this case, I like it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, and I think it's actually given it an interesting mechanic, which is really good to see. So yeah, let's stay with that. I'm going to spam some gonks now. There we go. Gonk, 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 gonk.
So I think I spotted something fairly interesting in chat. If anyone wonders why you keep looking at the top of my head, I am currently interrupting briefly. I'm preparing my secret Santa parcel for the Tin Squadron thing, and I think my recipient's here. So that's the one I've just finished.
Look at that.
I'm doing Christmas themes.
Yeah. It's the most wonderful
it's all snowy.
time.
So I think the person who's actually is on here, that's the second one. There's 3 coming.
Oh, there we go.
All right. The next one is also exciting for me because, in my personal opinion, Novice Technician is one of the worst cards in the games, and now it gets a little bit of a discount.
Yeah, I have seen it used before on a Decimator. Because obviously Decimators attract crits like nobody's business. And it was quite useful just to go, you know what, that one at the end of the round, I do not have that hard turns, and it doesn't matter if I flip one of my other damage cards because it's not going to be hard turns or red or something that was horrible.
I can see it actually getting played now on Decimators, on Ghosts, on Falcons, right? All the high health ships
Again,
can
with
benefit from that.
if you're needing to fill that bit up to 200, if you have a large ship, then that might be useful for that 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only I think it's if you roll a hit, so it's only a 3 in 8 chance of flipping another one back up. So
yeah,
it's not terrible.
It's not terrible. And I mean, Han Solo is still in Rebel on the board, right? Like he could reroll that.
Exactly. Han really likes it. So there we go. Tactical officer down to 3. I imagine that is a direct response to Protectorate Gleb going up to 6.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have the white coordinates around. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's a fair change. I mean, I was running Tackle Officer when it was 2 points, and it was severely undercosted then, so they bumped it up to 6 and halved it. So
I think 3 or 4 is alright. Like it was pretty good on Reapers. Yeah, we'll see how it does. I like the theme that having coordinates give to a list, so I'm not too unhappy about that. You've got to be careful not to make it too overpowered though.
Yeah, right.
I think
Scum has now a 29 points coordinator with a white coordinator now with the escape craft.
Yeah.
I have to watch it a bit, I think.
I think it's fine to have an upgrade that changes something from red to white at such a points change, as opposed to Gleb, which gives you a red coordinate for 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, 2 points for that was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think this is how it should be. If you're turning an action from red to white, it should be around the 3 points mark.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that the fact that Gleb is adding it to a ship is so huge. Ships that couldn't coordinate before. Coordinate is such a massive action, and having access to it on a high initiative ship. Anyone that was playing in the 1.0 days remembers just how good Fen Rao in the shuttle was for having an initiative 6 coordinate. So yeah, it's pretty good, and I think it's worth the 6 points. Especially because the stress doesn't always have to go on the ship that you're using to coordinate. I am really interested by this. This is a very consistent trend over this points change for less so for Foresight. I think that was a knee-jerk onto the Inquisitors, which is fair enough. But for extreme maneuvers and for stuff like Sense, and for a lot of the things that allow you a control element in the game, they're making them a lot more expensive.
You're right. There's a theme behind that, right? Like, AMG apparently not the biggest fans of like sense and like dial changing and pre-maneuver.
Sense has been hit for one very obvious reason, which is why I said we need to discuss this at the start. Because if every list is 200 points, Sense just became nuts.
Yep, Sense became really, really, really good. It's now 6. I think it could have been a lot more expensive, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's a very targeted increase. EM, on the other hand, like Kylo and EM got jumped by 2 points, and the rest, well, we're going to obviously get to them, but the rest of FOAces went down.
Yes. I think this is fine. I think EM is okay. I think this is a direct response to the Whisper, which is probably a good thing.
The funny thing is, right, the upcoming AMG OP package, which will be like a casual OP package, will have Sense as the price card.
It's Ace is high, isn't it? It's got 8 copies or something of Sense.
Yeah.
You know what?
Copies of Sense, which is fun.
I mean, we've already had a good chuckle about it behind the scenes, but if Sense ends up being the card that gets banned, and then it was in the OP pack, it's going to be quite funny.
Gonna be super fun. I can see it actually. I can see it.
I think it'd be an accurate way to pay homage to FFG.
I think so. I think so. Just what I am curious about is both Hate and Malice, because Hate has technically got cheaper, but it's actually got more expensive, because it's got cheaper on the big ships, but it's now got more expensive on the small ships. I don't think that Hate or Malice are that worth it anymore. Or Malice in the first place are that worth it. I think Malice would have been costed at 6 had it been allowed with the Eaters and the horrendous crit bot nonsense that Anakin could take. I think for Vader, it is still too expensive. Basically, if you're looking at something for Vader, you're taking Afterburners, because Afterburners are stapled on, and then you look at it and go, okay, well, I've got an option between Malice or Hate. Well, I'd probably take Hate. if I'm honest, because it's just a bit cheaper. Or you can go passive sensors for the same points as Malice, and I'm not gonna lie, passive sensors for 7 points now, because they made that a bit more expensive. But passive sensors is still better than Malice for that point price. Yeah, and as Tyler says, why would you not take Sense? If it's Malice or Sense, Sense every time. Like, staple that to Vader if you have the points spare. Oh no, sorry, we're talking about X1 Vader, because we're talking about the good ship, not the
good ship, not the.
I mean, like,
silly.
Defender Vader is okay, but yeah.
We're talking about the good ship, not the fun ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Can I just jump in on hate? Obviously, it's gone down to 4 points. Also, it's worth noting that the Sith infiltrators, which I know we'll get to later, have dropped in points, and because hate is no longer, was it ship size costed? It's gone back to a steal again.
Yeah,
hate on Maul
it's
is
great
fantastic.
on the it's great on the big boys. It is really good on the big boys, which is good to see, because I really like that as an archetype. I feel free to fight me, Tyler, about the Malice and everything else, but no, I don't think, like, you're absolutely correct. Malice is an amazing upgrade. It is incredible on Vader, but because it's not every face-up damage card, because there is a random aspect aligned to that card, and it's 6 points, I think your points would be better spent somewhere else. I do not think that. I think Malice is a great card, but it is not a competitively sensible. Vader Defender. Yeah, sure. If you're gonna take Vader Defender, staple Malice to him, because it's incredible. Sorry, I apologize. I'm talking X1 Vader. Malice.
I think he's actually just talking that Vader's good. I don't think he's even talking about Malice.
No, he's just clarifying there that Vader Defender. Vader Defender is good.
I love Vader Defender.
But it needs a coordinate monkey with him, or it needs advanced sensors. And I'm fairly sure that advanced sensors isn't going to exist very soon. So,
rightfully so.
Yeah, no, I like X1.
We're all bored of it.
Yes. Anyway, moving on. My favourite card of the entire thing, of the new upgrades, is Shattering Shot. It's amazing. Give me all of it and put it on the Falcon.
Yeah, right. What did to say? Put it on Rey. Put it on the Force Spartans.
Yes, Leia and Rey love this
Just do it.
upgrade.
Some of these you're
Eaters as well.
probably going to have to explain what they are. Shattering Shot. When you perform an attack, if the attack is obstructed by an obstacle or the defender is at range 0 of an obstacle, you may spend 1 force to add a eyeball.
Yep.
Add a result, right? Add a result is always great.
It is basically, if you're shooting through an asteroid, you get to do what the Bullseye Jedi have done for a while with calibrated laser targeting. You just add that eyeball, turn it into a hit. So Leia just rolls around taking a focus every single turn, spends her force whenever she shoots through a rock to turn it into a hit. I did the numbers on this. If you're shooting a 2 agility ship through an asteroid with a target lock and force, you're going to do about 1.4 damage. If you're shooting it with a focus and shattering shot, you're going to do 1.2 damage on average. It is ridiculously better than just relying on your force, and it's only 3 points. That's basically the equivalent of rolling a 4-dice shot. It is actually slightly better than trick shot. So yeah.
I mean, you could take trick shot and shattering shot on some of the Etters.
And that's, I think, because they've had the auto blaster taken away from them, I think that is now going to be their new loadout. And I actually really like shattering shot on the Ether Sprite CLTs as well, because it gives you another reason to add that bonus dice behind a rock. It's good. I like it. But yes.
As a fan, if you're flying a Falcon, you usually don't have resources on defense anyway on the one agility.
Well, you can go defensive on the Falcon. The Falcon can be a really defensive ship, but you've got to pick your turns. Like the Falcon, most of the time the Falcon is broadsiding, and it will get behind the enemy ships. If the enemy is chasing your Falcon, then absolutely, like, don't spend Shattering Shot every turn.
Yeah.
But then hopefully the rest of your list is probably behind your only, because a layer with Shattering Shot is only 80 points. You've got another 120 to fit into your list, right? So yeah, that's the whole idea on that one. I really like Shattering Shot. I'm not
like you said, you don't need
Malice.
to spend it, right? Like you can choose to spend it, and for 3 points, that's easy to include.
I mean, he's not wrong. It's Eaters can do Shattering and Trick Shot. It's hilarious. So supernatural reflexes hasn't changed, but I'm fairly sure it's going to get banned soon. At least that's going to be the first thing on the ban list if they put it on the ban list.
100%.
I am very much here for Agile Gunner. I think it's an amazing upgrade, and it's great that it's 3 points.
It's good on rack, for sure.
It's good on all the large base turret ships, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a good
Dash.
point,
I really liked it on Dash before, he can't take it anymore, but that's fair because Bistan Dash is very good. Hotshot Gunner at 6. Still don't think it's going to see much play. Anything else important? Veteran Tail Gunner, don't care. Suppressive Gunner at 7. You can make that obnoxious. I have made a list with 5 of these in. I think you can fit 6 of them if you do aggressors. You just stack like 6 depletes on a single ship and watch it cry. But I don't think it's obnoxious. It's going to make your opponent very sad, but I don't think it's going to win a tournament. It's just going to make people not have fun.
Yeah. Move on territory, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't that how some people have fun?
Maybe. I mean, if you combine it with Scorch in the FO Bomber, then you can get the combination of putting depletes and strains on things. And again, they're 5 2-dice guns, so you're just going to lose the game, but you're going to make your opponent really angry in the meantime.
It could be a theme for First Order very soon, right? With the suppressive gunner here and all the jamming on the other side.
Yeah, we'll see. Cloaking Device. This is interesting. Cloaking Device got cheaper. I am scared of gun runners.
Always.
FTC's going up. That's
good. We're all shocked and surprised.
I mean, I think that's fair. What makes me really happy is if you have a look at the elicits in general, there is a lot of 3-point elicits. I think there's a really interesting decision that you can now make between all of the 3-cost elicits, and it actually makes people think about it. I am very much here for making a lot of the upgrades the same cost and making you choose in the same price point, because previously you had 2 points, so you put on this elicit because it's the best.
They could have dropped Contraband back into its utility slot.
Yeah, but then everyone takes Contraband.
But no,
and it's not a choice.
I don't agree with that, though. I mean, Contraband's just one of those good utility bits. 2 still 2, but 3 on a one-off is just not playable. So goodbye FCS or FTC. It's done.
I think in certain cases it still works.
I also think we'll see very little of it.
That's fair.
We haven't got Jab anymore. The reload concept as a one-off ping, it wasn't worth it on fire sprays in my mind at 2.
I think the thing is, like, a lot of people also know how to counteract FTC now, right? Like taking the right target locks to get rid of it.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's just going to slide in my folder and stay there for the next 20 years.
It is still ridiculously going to fire sprays. I think it depends how you want to run your sprays. If you're going more like control. So what do we got? Overtune. I'm really excited for this card. I think Overtune Modulators is really cool in the right place. It's basically the old glitter stim. I think Boba Fett quite likes it because you dump it on that turn where you're just going to run into everything, and then you're going to spend 1 or 2 and then probably get 1 shot off you. It's nice. I like it.
I'm very happy that AMG also had like good testers here because they made Jabba more expensive, because Jabba with 3 points overtuned the old Jabba points, like OMG.
Yeah, there's this is because if you have 3 turns of engagement in the game, which often happens, you fly around for 6 turns and then you have 3 turns of engagement, like in the big furball of a swarm game. Turns out if you have 3 turns or 4 turns worth of always having 3 calculates, it doesn't matter if you don't have a stress token.
One thing to keep an eye out though on the Overtune Modulators is that when the charge is finally inactive, if you have a green token at the end of that turn, regardless of whether you've just popped them or not, you do get that strain.
Yeah.
So if you sit the turn with your reinforce or your focus, you're taking a strain next turn.
Yeah. But it's also a strain as well. So you dump this on something with 1 agility that you really don't mind if you're taking strains. Then it's
maybe you'll fly blue, so it's okay. It's fine.
I don't agree with the
doesn't hate
threads. I think the threads could have gone to 3, not to 4. But
I think that's another card that's probably going to slide into ignominy.
I think that's a lot of people taking on board that how spammed the thread tracers were at the beginning when they were first dropped. So that's just kind of stuck with them, going, right then, we need to hit these with the naughty stick.
And I think
Rich
is right in his agreement with you, Liam, is that they are powering some spam lists, and yeah, if you want to cut down the spam list, then I think you kill thread tracers.
Yeah, and the notice stick is the thing, right? FFG did it also. Like sometimes you just push a card over the limit a bit and just wait to calm down like 6 months and then bring it back.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah. So, couple of interesting ones here. I'm aware that there is a lot of these. We'll get through them. It's fine. We shouldn't be too bad for time. Multi-missiles and electrochaff. Turns out the present understanding on electrochaff is you get to roll 2 bonus dice.
Yeah, because rules is written, right?
Yeah. Because it counts as an obstacle and you roll a bonus dice. So I'm not sure if that was intentional, but you get 2 bonus dice through the chaff.
I don't think so. Like, this is strange. Like, we know for conversion in the rules inlet, it's straight outside is an obstacle with all the obstacle rules. But there was like additional explanation about all this stuff, electrochaff does, and I think it's just like a mistake, old FFG mistake.
Exactly. Also, I agree with Tyler there. A lot of the time, tracers were just the wrong choice, and now we are stopping people from hurting themselves. Take ion missiles; they were always the better decision.
Like, I almost universally agree with that sentiment.
Yeah. It's turns out take stuff that does damage.
I don't hate the rules as written approach to electrochaff because it only stays around for 2 turns.
I agree. I like
but
it.
But on the other hand, Ollie just said, like, sometimes you have like 3 meaningful turn of engagements. That's like 2/3 of that.
Oh, here's a fun one.
But it's highly unlikely you'll be having that rules of those 2 engagements both opposite sides of that electrochaff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're right. You're basically right. But all that needs to do is like one time defending yourself, right? Like one crucial turn. Like I'm not sure. Like I've seen it on board before. I have to test it.
I don't know if anyone has had a look at how wide that thing is. It's really wide.
It's pretty wide.
I think it's actually really, really cool on a as an aggressive upgrade because it goes out in the system phase. If you lob that in front of a jousting block, they lose all of their actions because a lot of them are going to go over the top of it. So I think, because everyone's going to forget about it, and I was just thinking, what is the easiest way of getting it into a list? Hold out for a bit more, Liam. Your camera froze. There we go. Oh, he's moving. He's moving. It's fine.
Liam is flexing here with the fury of the First Order.
But yeah, so with this, I think on a Y-wing or or maybe a K-wing, or it has to have a bomb and a missile slot. So there's not too many things that can take it. There you go. It's huge. Look at that. It is a little bit over 3 bases wide, I think.
That's so big.
Yeah. If you lob that out with a 3 bank, that's going to get in the way of a lot of stuff. Oh god, yeah, the FO bomber, you boost and then you shoot it. That is it's only 4 points.
It is, yeah.
It's and if you boost to the right and then drop it to the left, that is a really big distance. I like it a lot as a tactic there. Right then. So, what else? Ablasive plating, nobody cares. Multi-missile pods, interesting, but probably... I think they'll see play now at 4 points, maybe on the lats.
6 previously, weren't they?
The problem with multi-missile pods is that you need a target lock to fire them, or a calculate, so meh.
Still meh in the end.
Yeah.
Well, it was that, and they came out with the HMP, and the HMP did everything they added, except the 1 extra dice to the bullseye, and at range 1.
It already does it.
And it was pointless.
So what's the point? Yeah, what's the point? I think, electrochaff is we're going to see more as a thing like Discord missiles. It's less going to be a defensive upgrade. I think people are going to lob it at their opponents. Do seismic charges destroy it? Yes, it counts as an obstacle, so it would explode, which is hilarious. If someone lobs an electrochaff at you and then you immediately drop a seismic, or you can deploy. You can destroy your own. You can have a seismic and an electric.
Right. And you can have a range 5 bomb.
Yeah, because you lob it forwards, and then you have a trajectory simulator in your list and lob forward a seismic.
To be honest, I want to live in this world. This sounds exciting.
Wombo combo.
Yeah.
Hang on. So before the points change, it was only the Scumfire spray that could do it, but there's been a few slot changes on. I know I'm getting ahead of us here, but
Yeah.
can't the Scum Y-Wing now take that?
Yeah, the Scum Y-Wing can, because it has a bomb and a missile, I think. Because the Rebel one can. I put it on a Rebel to try and do stuff. As can the Resistance Y-Wing, so you could trad sim it from the big fat bomber if you ever want to.
Oh, it's kind of fun. Like, maybe it's annoying, but it's kind of fun too.
What
I want to see it.
I'm just having a look at the Imperial faction, because Punishers seemed like a really good way of getting a trad sim into the list and still having a lot of utility. So I'm just wondering what has a bomb and a missile slot in the. I mean, obviously the TIE Bomber, right? And the TIE Bomber is probably the cheapest way of getting this into a list.
Yeah, 100%.
So 31 points for a standard TIE Bomber. And then...
things around.
Yeah, like, this is really interesting. Oh yeah, you can just... But you can't drop 2 in a round. Because you can't drop 2 things in a round. Does it count as a bomb?
It's a missile, right? A payload missile?
Oh, you're launching it. So if you are launching it, it's similar to dropping. Oh God, it's not a device. It's not a device. No, you can. Tyler's right. You can do it from the same.
Right.
Because you're only stopped from dropping devices. So on the same Punisher, you can lob a seismic, and if it's Death Rain, you can do the pre-boost as well.
Yeah.
So you can drop the seismic, do the pre-boost, lob the 3-bank thingamabob, and then you can get out of there and oh my god, give me Death
all
Rain.
their actions.
I am taking notes here. Guys.
You could do this with a Cad Bane
guys,
fire spray as well, couldn't you?
Guys, Death Rain's back. I mean, Death Rain never went anywhere, but oh my god.
Yeah, I agree with Tyler. Yeah, it may be not good, but it's
so
very
much,
funny. Like, I
so
want to
much
do it.
fun. This is because I unapologetically I think that seismics were one of my favorite upgrades on Death Rain. So a trajectory simulator with 1 payload being seismics. The only frustration of this is that you do give up one of your bomb slots for it. So you don't have Death Rain with any bombs other than. But chaff. Yeah, there we go. Sorted. Seismics chaff, 48 points. Give him advanced proton torpedoes just for laughs, and he's only 53. Fun. Why not?
Hold on. This isn't bad on a Andrasta Eamon Azamine either.
No, it's not.
Because you launch it. I mean, if you got Cad Bane,
Can
because some
you-
people are that way inclined,
You can
you can do some
boost.
stuff with this.
Because if you
launch it.
three bank the bomb, because you can 3-hard the bomb to the left. No, I don't know if you can get that. Yeah, R1 of the chaff is massive. No, you death rain the seismic forwards, and then you do the boost, and then if you 3-bank it the right way, it's still in range of the seismic charge because it's so wide. So you've got to do the boost off of the seismic, and then you system phase the chaff, and then you can do it.
You're all bad people.
we found a combo.
Fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, most people just accept it. But if you do because the thing with Death Rain is that what you want to do is you want to do the curve boost away. So I kind of want to show you this on a table. But you lob the 5 forward straight. So the 5 forwards going that way. Then you're boosting away from it, 3-bank. You lob the chaff up. Where is it? I'm opposites. You lob the chaff up that way. So tagged the thermal with it, and then you 3-bank away this way, so you dodge the swarm. Yeah, it's interesting. I need to put this on a table and try it. Again, I need to work out if this works. If it does, this is because you can do it multiple turns and keep Death Rain alive, and then you can come back and do it again. Which is hilarious. And if people are flying TIE fighters again, then that's a third of your health. And I can't reload the electro chaff, but
third of your health, no actions.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's
The
fun.
no actions thing is big, right? Like getting rid of all the actions of an
Yeah.
enemy swarm. Like,
Only one chaff
Worth it.
charge. Don't care. It's worth it just to see my opponent's face and go, "What the hell did you just do?"
You can take more than one chaff though.
You can, but then you wouldn't be able to use seismics unless you had another ship.
Well, yeah, you can only take on another ship. You can't take
Yeah,
two of the same one, can you?
Anyway,
That's enough of that silliness.
Yeah.
yes, sorry, I got sidetracked by Death Rain things. Anything else? Precisions went down. Nobody used them anyway. Spare parts went down a little bit. That's interesting. May see more play.
I like that card.
Yeah. Discharge Veins, if anyone hasn't seen the Wombo combo with Black 1, where you pass off the ion that you get onto an enemy ace, it's funny, but that's about it.
Too much points all in all.
I am very sad about ion bombs going up to 4. I could have seen them at 3. I didn't think they needed to go up by 2 points.
They don't do damage.
I mean, that's the AMG fight against control again, right? Like, there was no reason to put them up.
I think
They don't like control.
Ion control is a really interesting thing because you have to get it right if you're going to ion bomb someone properly. But they've left Connor Nets at 3.
Because nobody was playing Connor Nets before, so they kind of ignored it.
Connor Nets are way more
And
obnoxious.
they can't be reloaded.
Yes, Connor Nets are way more obnoxious. But fair enough. I mean, ion control, you don't like ironing people off the board, then fair enough. Thermal detonators.
5.
I think there is 2 people in this stream that are happy about this and 2 people that are not.
Well, I thought they'd go to 6. I'm happy enough.
That's fair. No, I think thermals at 5 are about fair.
I thought 5 was fair. I was hoping for 4.
Yeah, that's fair. I could have seen 4, but I think 5 was the correct decision.
Yeah.
I was expecting 6 very solidly, and thought that would have been fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just such a good bomb and activates so many combos.
And I like
It's dropping 2 as well.
I like the fact
Having
that
4
you
of them.
can fit 2 fire sprays with thermals on still in a viable list. I know my personal choice wouldn't be to take the 2 thermals, it would be to take the force crew, but yeah, I agree with you on that one, Connor.
Well, I'm glad I had to make a noise, and Ollie reads me so well.
Yeah.
Yes, that is exactly what I was going to say.
I mean, it was very, very like expressive noises.
You can
I was
read between
impressed with that, though.
Electroproton Bomb, there is a couple of people in the world that are going to be very happy about that one, but only a couple.
This
I
guy,
mean,
our Untitled Squadron, are fucking nuts about it.
I'm a bit concerned to be honest, right? Like it was a bit of a meme bomb, right? But at 8 points, I can see it happening more and more.
I think if it appears in the meta a bit more, people are going to understand how to deal with it.
Yeah,
Meh.
most likely.
I mean, it was banter. I'll give it that.
Also true. The advanced sensors was kind of expected, right?
I'm happy with that, like 100%.
Yeah. And Debris Gambit, kind of cool. Elusive. Oh, yes. I love Elusive at 2.
Yeah, I agree. That's back to our conversation about 3 before. Because Elusive is right up there with Contraband in the slot.
Yeah.
When did you think about advanced sensors, by the way? They changed it to like base size cost, right? So actually for large bases, it got cheaper. Which concerns me a little bit.
What has a system slot that's a large base?
Ghost.
Okay. They don't have
reasonable.
repositions at the moment. So
That's
I
true,
think
but
fine.
for the Ghost, for Hera
Hera.
and stuff, it's all about like offense, right? And the Germans, they have done it before, Advanced Sensor Ghost. That could be a bit
it's
scary.
still decent. Like the advanced sensors, Zeb, and Saw Gerrera crew. Like it's good with intimidation, but
The Star
like,
Fortress as well.
It's a bit of my concern list, but let's see what happens in real life. Then,
sorry, yeah, apologies. What I meant to say to clarify is what has advanced sensors and can reposition. That's because that's the thing that we're thinking with advanced sensors, right?
The big thing.
Yeah.
I like the Star Fortress.
Yeah, but no, with Elusive and also Tyler, get off. You spend way too much time on Twitch. If you put poggers in my chat, I'm getting you a slap. Right, Elusive is great for 2. I think it's going to see a hell of a lot more play now. Gambit down is interesting. Maybe people would consider taking it. Feedback ping, curious.
What does it do?
Feedback ping allows you to take a target lock of anything within range 0 to 1 of a device. I'm seeing a lot of people saying good things about it. I need to have a look at it a bit more.
My mind goes straight to First Order simply because they've got the sensor buoys as well.
Yeah, the
Is that
remotes.
the device, the remote?
That
That's
does count
good.
as a device. A remote counts.
Oh.
Sorry, it's yeah, it is. I think remotes count as those. But yeah, essentially, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And at 1 point, Talon, right? Like that's nothing.
I'm seeing the bombers take a lot of the first order bombers are taking it. Yeah, seems to be pretty good. Duke is down to 6. Okay, still just.
Yeah, 7 was just a little high.
Yeah, it was getting punished for the quad.
Yeah.
Phantom days.
I love Belly Run. I think it's a fun upgrade. I like its 1. I will start using it on Y-Wings if I have spare points, because lobbing a Y-Wing onto an asteroid just to dodge shots is always good. And then you're inevitably going to be sad when your opponent just rolls 3 hits anyway, but you know.
TFL Belly Run, what does it do?
When you are in range 0 of an asteroid, your opponent cannot modify their dice with focus tokens, I believe. Or like you can't convert eyeballs into hits. Or it's rerolls. Oh, it's one of them. Basically, it stops your opponent from modifying some of your dice if you're at range 0 of an asteroid. So you take gas clouds with Y-Wings and you like lob a Y-Wing in their face, and on the turn that they want to jump at them, you put them on a cloud.
So actual text is you can perform special attacks while at range 0 of asteroids.
That's it.
And
So
while you
I
defend,
am
if
kind
you're
of-
at range 0 of an obstacle, attack dice cannot be rerolled.
So it's
And
okay.
Restricted only Y-Wings, which is super funny.
Yeah. So it's fun. You can lob yourself onto a rock and still shoot when people aren't expecting it with an ion cannon, which is fun. Like, it's good for Cavill. Targeting synchronizer. We need to talk about E-Wings with that in a second. That's quite nice.
E-Wings are back, baby.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Okay, we're done with the generics. That was a lot, but there was a lot of changes to the generic upgrades. And I think there's some really cool changes in there too. I think you're going to see a lot more interesting list building options because of that. Anything anyone wants to add on those?
No, it's kind of difficult to not just put them straight in a ship, right?
Yeah.
To go, but then we end up talking about the wrong thing.
No, it's fine. Like, let's do the factions. We have still 7 left, so plenty of.
Yeah, brief warning. I'm out at 11. I don't think you guys will be finished, but I
Cool.
unfortunately will have to be.
Good to know. Right, Connor, pick me a thing. Which one do you want to talk
Let's
about?
go first order. I think it's most exciting.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, FO. We're gonna speed up now because I think we got the. This is now the interesting stuff as opposed to talking about everything. Because I think most of the generics were interesting. Right, clearly Von Reg and Ember have gone down a little bit, which is always nice.
Yeah, so let's work that one out, right?
Mhm.
That FO Aces, and I know I'm jumping ahead, is got a situation where Kylo's gone up by 2, but all of his mates have gone down. All of them.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, he went up by 1, but Extreme Maneuvers went up by 1. So that's what I mean by 2. And Aces is now better in FO.
Mm-hmm.
They now have the ability to take 3 actually fully powered silencers.
Yep.
I just don't get why Kylo went up.
It's probably because in that archetype of 3 aces, he's fine, but being able to take Kylo and 5 TIE fighters or something like that.
Yeah, Kylo was in every single FO list because of how efficient he was, which probably says he's a little bit too cheap. Now,
On
what's
the other hand,
interesting?
like 1 point increase, it's not doing.
I
much
know it's
to-
not the end of the
Yeah.
world,
Mhm.
but the reality is, if it hadn't got up by 1, I'd have Extreme Maneuvers. So
And
I'm a little pissed off.
Kylo's staying at the same points. Von Reg has essentially stayed at the same points if you put Daredevil on him because Daredevil went up by 1. So
Which is
Did
fair.
it?
I think so.
I didn't even notice. No, did it?
Oh no,
Uh,
sorry, it was
no,
extreme. It was
No,
extreme
the
maneuvers.
Extreme went up. No, that was the same.
I
think.
apologize. Yeah, he's
No,
cheaper
Von Reg
by
is cheaper.
And what is
Yeah, Von Reg
super
is all.
interesting is finally we've got this. We've got the more expensive general FO pilots, and reducing the named ones a little bit as well. So Longshot is a little bit cheaper, Static's a little bit cheaper, Scorch obviously stayed where he is.
Midnight
Midnight
is cheaper.
now 35.
How
which is kinda
much
cool.
was Midnight before this?
I can't remember. If anyone would like to point out in chat, I know there is a spreadsheet out there that tells us. If anyone in chat knows, then shout.
Let me check. She was 42. That's a 7 points increase. 7 points for Midnight.
Oh,
This is amazing.
Wow, that's a thing. In which case, yeah, probably have a look at taking that one.
That's
Yeah,
because
the pocket ace, right, for first order. And
properly crap price to begin with.
Yes,
Still like,
because
would you?
well, it was still the knee jerk from 1. There was a lot of really good Omega Leader runs in 1.0.
Yeah.
Well, all you did was put comms relay and Duke on her, and she was amazing.
And I agree, Raviolo. Also, I disagree with everyone that still calls her Lockdown a Mega Leader. She is a babe.
She's a babe.
All right. So, Omega could be good now. I hope so.
Like, we're putting Fanatica, which got cheaper on her, right? 36 points. That's like a pocket ace for cheap. Like, I would fly that anytime.
I am not... Okay. So, did anyone mind me soapboxing about 3 agility, 4 hull for a second?
Let's go.
All right. Missing Link 91. You are absolutely incorrect. Those ships are way too cheap, and 4 hull and 3 agility is ridiculous. Consider this. The standard TIE fighter is 22 points. That is 3 hull and 3 agility. When you add a hull upgrade to that TIE fighter to make it... Actually, sorry, it's a shield upgrade because they have a shield. It is exactly the same points as TIE-FO. The TIE-FO has even gained a hard 2 blue turn, which is ridiculously good. The efficiency of the hard 2 blue is incredible. And it has sloops. Those alone are probably worth 2 points just for the dial. And it has a free shield upgrade. And it was only 3 points more expensive. So, no, go away. That TIE-FO should be 27 at least. You are lucky to have it at 26. It should have been 27.
And you will be grateful.
Anyway, yes, that is my soapbox. I will die on that hill. 6 can go to hell. There we go. Sorry, that wasn't meant to be so aggressive, but...
Have you finished giving him his free prostate exam?
Yes. Epsilons did do a lot wrong. do not tell me that the Epsilons did nothing wrong.
If you want to do a cheap filler, 26 points for the Epsilons is still great.
Yeah, they're ridiculously cheap. But like, I love the Epsilon. I think the Epsilon is a fantastic ship. I'm happy that the Photo no longer exists. Yes, okay. So this is my other soapbox: is that the TIE Fighter was meant to be the comparison to everything else, and then they went and made everything cheaper. So stop making everything cheaper, make everything more expensive instead. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to start getting ranty if we carry on talking about that. So
as far as I know, also like the Melrose one of the Epsilons, you can still fly that. You just lose
exactly the same, but nothing on Valorous. There no longer is any building decisions on Valorous.
I'm fighting on the internet. 2 seconds, cover me, I'm going in. The original points cost of the FO was 27. That the reason that they seemed bad was because everything else was too cheap, so they reduced it. They should have nerfed the stuff in the first place that was really good, that was too cheap. So, that's...
Photo was just a gatekeeper anyway, wasn't it? It was never going to win.
Yeah, the Photo wasn't that good because it didn't have mods. Malorus was the problem. And no one realised how good FOs were until Malorus became the problem. I say no one. I'm sure there were loads of people flying FOs out there that are just about to jump down my neck, but yes. Anyway,
not me, they don't boost.
Yes, I agree with you. The bomber is cool, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because we don't really know its capabilities. Can someone clarify for me? Is the system phase boost white or red?
White.
Oh God, why would you do such a thing?
I don't know, but I like it. Like system boost reposition, like system phase reposition.
Yeah.
I like it. It's
FO has been made super sort of like Republic level flexible.
Yeah.
Is it going to follow the same problem that Republic did, which is look at this really cool cannon shit? It's going to be so expensive, you're never going to get to play it, or you're just going to lose.
It's still a bomber, right? Like,
yeah, I like it.
I'm being quietly optimistic about them.
I like the bomber. I think it looks fucking cool as well, which is great.
Yep, it does.
It's also massive, right? Like it's like Punisher levels of size for small base.
Right? It's not as high, but I mean, look at it. It's got a really nice profile.
It's really cool. I like it a lot.
It fits very well with like the chat silencer, the big ones from FFG.
Yeah. I think Scorch is a really good ship to just chuck into a list for a annoyance, like just being able to lob strains on things. Shoot Scorch first, give it a strain, shoot with the important shot. It's fun. If you really want to, give him a suppressive gunner as well, but it's probably better to spam that. Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of interesting things. The fact that they can boost and then drop bombs is incredible.
We're thinking on that line.
And no, Timo, we have started with FO because apparently I talk too much, but you knew that already.
Just enough, Ollie.
Anyway, quick draw getting cheaper. Jousty things have generally got cheaper, which, yeah, seems sensible.
It got cheaper, but didn't get special gunners thingy like more expensive. I think that's offsetting, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like
and
the base one without the extra dice, it's cheaper. I think it's fair, and if you want to pay for the extra dice, you have to.
Yeah.
I.e., if you want to make it good.
We already mentioned Kylo, but the Jimmy's getting 2 points more expensive as well. That is a surprise.
Is it?
It's probably because the sensitive controls has come down too.
That's
and
right.
they think they should go.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. But,
It's simply exactly the same as we've had across the board. It's meant to be attached to it. It's like, nah, it's not going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it being 50. I mean, you now have to at least think about your upgrades when you put them with things, so fair enough. Similar to the Delta
4
7s.
the naked, and it's as boring as that.
And I like the fact that recoil went down a little bit. I like recoil. I think he's an underestimated pilot.
Yes, so by him going down and Blackout going down, that creates the Kylo Blackout recoil list. And you can have Trick Shot, Predator, and that's it. But it's 3 silencers with 3 relevant abilities in one list with an I4 to 6, or I4 5.
Yeah.
Are hyperspace legal?
They are.
Right. Okay. Noted.
Yep. Exactly.
That whole list is hyperspace legal, in fact.
So, I don't know how good these Whispers are going to be. I think from what I've seen, there's been a lot of people testing them this weekend, and Kylo is the standout because obviously you want to jam yourself to get through agility, and then you use your force for defense. Seems pretty decent. For the rest of them, they seem fairly fragile. I would imagine very good spammed because jam is obnoxious when you spam it. The fact that the title is now free, the config, is now free is great. Don't really like too many of the other abilities. Wrath is nice if you get it.
I like the idea of having the enhanced jamming suite like 0 points and baked into the chassis, which means all the base chassis are more expensive, so you can't spam them.
Yeah.
Like Extreme Maneuvers is 5 if Fish is born, or otherwise I'd have it.
Yes.
Because that's built in now, it stops you being able to. Because, say for example, I think there was a chance of them coming out at 29 points each for the base generic.
Yeah.
Having that baked in means you aren't taking 6 of them.
Yeah.
And we all know how bad 6.
Yeah, it would have just been horrible. Would have just been horrible.
Yeah.
So like
6 3-dice bullseyes and turrets.
And jam.
I am going to put my neck on the line and say that I don't think this is going to see much play soon, especially
one
if
thing
Supers gets nerfed.
I heard about Kylo Whisper though, right, is like people are testing Supernatural and Daredevil on him for the 89 points Super Kylo Ace.
I'm waiting for
I'm a bit concerned again.
I'm waiting for them to get banned and people to be very, very sad. Nightfall's interesting. I think there's some fun little ships in here. Rip Dormits for getting banned again.
Most likely rightfully so. Like the Dormit setup ability, you can do so many stupid stuff with that.
And now because the FOs are more expensive, the shuttle went down by a single point, which I think is fair enough.
Well, so you can still play the same list, but no upgrades.
Yeah, which is good. I approve. I think that list without upgrades is okay.
I don't think it makes any fucking difference whatsoever, personally. I think it's exactly the same.
It was nice to have some buffs on the shuttle. I really enjoyed using Terex.
Pro Tradition saved me so many times on that damn ship.
Yeah, it's good. It is good.
Dead stopping and being able to focus. It helped my dial a lot.
I think the point I was making is it's going to make 0 difference to your decision to play it or not.
The list is still good. I would have preferred if you couldn't fit the 6 FOs with it, personally.
Yeah, I wish they just got rid of the damn thing and all they had to do that was not touch Malorus.
But yeah, I don't think they should have allowed it to fit. But hey, that's me. All right, FO done.
I'm not unhappy with it.
Liam, pick a thing.
I'm gonna go with Separatists.
Yeah.
Oh, spicy.
All right, Seppies. Ooh, I zoomed in too far. Oh god, where's it gone? Long way too far. There we go.
Oh, this is all things should be.
There we go. Right. So, in terms of FO, nobody touched the Bell Blabs. Good. They're about the right price. If anything, Grievous was maybe slightly cheap, but I like the fact that he's very much flyable and he's fun and very thematic.
No, he's probably one of the most balanced ships in the game.
Yeah, he's good. I love the fact that Tri-Fighters have come down. No one was using them, and they're really interesting. I want to see more people using them, so why not?
Yes, they were my example when you were talking about the Whispercraft earlier. I was like, it's the new Tri-Fighter. It just tastes like the new Tri-Fighter.
It does.
Just a second, like, I forgot one thing about Kylo Whisper and FO. In the points PDF, he don't have a light side tag. And from what I've heard about AMG, they're gonna change that soon. Because they spoiled it, that he got light side and could take compassion,
he's
right?
meant to have both, yeah.
Yeah, so that should be like a change next week when they correct all the different colors and stuff in the PDFs.
Whisper getting light side. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what difference
I mean,
that makes.
it shouldn't change anything really, to be honest, but
Yes.
that was like a
Shall we?
funny little typo.
Shall we talk about the Heffalump in the room?
Mm-hmm.
That's really upsetting. Liam's lost quite a lot of weight.
Hey, that was mean, man.
Rude.
The only other option was me, which
That's
is the
true.
fairer option.
I
I,
mean,
didn't want to go there.
I cropped the photo, so it was fine.
Fuck you.
Yeah, we're all good. Right, Zam. Good. Still absolutely worth using.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
This will not stop me. Like, in my current list, of course I can't use her anymore because I had too many things, but she's still perfect in double sprays. They're lighter sprays, but I still think they're such a solid list.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, we sat down and built that spray list in under 5 seconds. There wasn't any thinking about it. There wasn't any talking about it. It was just automatically put together. Both force users, thermal detonators, and what's left? 3 points. Well, we need explosives, so on go the seismics.
Yep. Done. All three of us built the same list. So
Nothing requiring any thought whatsoever.
it's going to be good. Everyone's going to use it. However, it now doesn't have 2 hull upgrades and a ridiculous amount of thermals and FTCs. So I think people can kill it. And it's still, if you're flying it to ridiculous levels, it's going to do well, which is good.
And to be quite honest, like everybody should like know how to fly against double fire sprays by now after like years of boba and all the other stuff. Like, come on.
Educate us. How do you fly against them?
I mean, like me, I'm just putting a lot of 3 dice attacks against them and in X-Wings, which they can't initiative kill. So yeah, that's my way to deal with them.
Yeah, I think as a genuine thing, as you can see from a few of these points changes, the efficiency of jousting is increasing in this points change, so I think that will slightly decrease the effectiveness of fire sprays. Because if the things that are effective at killing them get better, then, you know.
Yes, I do think there's a good possibility that my favourite 2 ships is finally going to go.
Nah, fire sprays
don't
will
think
never
so.
die.
It depends what you mean.
They'll come back in another form.
Well, they got rid of Boba and gave us these guys and went, this will be fun. Oh, fuck, it's way worse.
Yep. Exactly.
The best players with double sprays will still continue to use double sprays and do well.
Yes.
At this point, because you've removed a lot of the toys, the weaker players drop out by proxy.
And I think, so as a list building idea, I think low floor, high ceiling is what we should be aiming for. Because it would be nice to have a list that... I don't want the floor too low. I'm not saying it should be ridiculously hard just to use the list, otherwise you get trolleyed. But like there should be a list with, as you increase in skill, you do better with the list, as opposed to, oh look, I've put my ships on the table and flew forwards and I've now won the game. Right? That's nah. I'm less of a fan of the wombo combo. Okay, so what else we got? In terms of the HMP, so this is, as a faction, it looks really bad for Seps, and then you realise that a lot of the configs now don't cost anything. So for all the HMPs, they actually got cheaper, because the config was like 2 or 3 points, and they've gone up by 1, so effectively they've come down by 1 if you're flying with config, which most people were.
Everyone.
sad for the couple of people that were flying it without the config. But hey, sorry.
Losers.
Who the hell's flying it without the config?
A couple of people I saw flying like a pair of them with a fire spray or with a few droids, which was a really interesting list. But they're still better with the configs, and I think you can still make the same list and you now get configs. So congratulations. Technically, so DBS has technically come down by 1 point now because the config got cheaper by a point. The rest of them have stayed the same cost for the bombers. Sunfac has come down by a single point.
Oh no, the return of Sunfac and Snare.
Yeah,
I mean, he was already a bargain at 69. No one took him at a point.
I am
won't change that.
Genuinely surprised that Chertek is still 36. I think he is the best Nantex. But
yeah, I flew him for the first time this weekend. He is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This makes no sense to me, this points change, because the generic i4 is more expensive than the best Nantex.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, MG just afraid of spamming again, right?
They are afraid of spamming. Chertek is ridiculously good. Rerolls are always better than the bonus dice.
Yes, and he will get hit next turn most likely. People will play Chertek. Like they played it before, they will still play it a lot.
That's the thing. Like I haven't seen that many Chertek players. Like the most notable one I've seen, and I'm gonna do it, is me.
Yeah.
No, I've seen it a couple of times, especially in hyperspace, I believe, because he was Legion.
Yeah,
right?
no ensnare.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
And I think
it's pretty much there for the ensnare trick.
I think people are scared of an ace at Initiative 4. It's similar to Grievous. It's taken a little while for people to pick up Grievous. It is difficult to fly mid-range aces. I avoided it for years. So, you know.
The difference between Grievous and Chertek is Chertek is a Purius, whereas Grievous has 7 hull and defensive modifications.
It's why you don't see Initiative 4 intercepts being flown. Quick side tangent for Timo. Why are rerolls better? So if going back to 1.0, there was an upgrade called Expose, which don't ask for the Lee Dalton alt art. Seriously, it's terrifying. But the upgrade was you spent your action to reduce your defense by 1 and increase your offense by 1. And if you run the numbers on it, it's always better to take a focus action than it is to increase your amount of dice by 1. It's better odds because you have more. Unless you have 1 dice and you're going to 2, it is still always better from 2 dice to 3 dice, 3 dice to 4 dice, etc., etc., etc. Just take a focus instead of doing the extra dice. So if you have Sunfac with the ability to add a dice if you're tracted versus Chertek for the ability to re-roll dice when you're tracted, the modification is better than the extra dice. The massive advantage of Sunfac is that he is Initiative 6, so that's why you spend more points for him. But in terms of how good they are as the chassis, Chertek is a much, much better ability than Sunfac because rerolls are so amazingly good.
Yeah, Sunfac just has higher spike ability with the 5 dice if you're tracted bullseye.
Yeah, it's really, really, really good. Anyway, moving on, I am really, really happy to see that these two things have got cheaper, the Maul and Courier.
Yeah, they're
yeah.
very underplayed.
Yeah, let's see some infiltrators back.
Plus
I can't wait to see 4 Sith postmen.
Hate got cheaper for Maul too, right? Like that was just a win for Maul here.
Yeah. Maul is going to see a bit more play, I think, which is good. Same thing with the Vultures. DFS got considerably cheaper because people were not really flying him. DFS,
I don't know what that DFS does.
Yeah, no one. This one stayed the same price because Sensible Doofus is good.
Separatist drone and Trade Federation drone, same points, which is interesting.
Yep.
Still not a out-and-out good choice to go for the I3 because
no. Swarm players always go for I1 for the blocks and bumps.
Yeah, but I do like this. If you're running like a munition swarm and you want to go for the alpha, like maybe energy shells, you can now run them at the same cost, and I think that's a really interesting decision point. Yeah, why not? I agree. A lot of people want to go I1 for the blocking, but you might have a list that encourages the 3s, so why not?
you have options here. And I don't hate it. I don't hate it actually. Like I think a lot of people were like a bit confused why two ships with different initiatives are like the same point, but here in this like in swarmy archetype, I think it's okay.
Yeah, and I think as Isophane's saying, Seer and 7 vultures, you can now fly Seer with I3 vultures, which is great for alpha striking.
Oh, okay, that is concerning me a bit.
Yeah,
The
people
only
still
issue
don't play them.
is that the only issue is at Series 2, so you got to keep him protected while having him move first. And that's difficult because your vultures are going to be up front.
Yeah.
I don't think if the prize support for X-Wing was like measuring hundreds of thousands of pounds, we'd see so many more droid swarmers. But they're just so fucking boring to play.
I disagree.
Same thing with HMPs. A lot of people really enjoy droid swarms.
A lot of people enjoy the HMPs for the fun slip stuff, but actual running base droids, how often do you see them?
Not very many, because I think they're actually
Unless
quite hard
Doms
to
are the
fly
team.
well.
I mean, I stopped running them because running 7 ships gave me some form of midday aneurysm.
It
You
hurts.
see?
It really hurts.
You see, there's a reason for you not to play them. But if there's like, here's 100 grand line, you'd be like, you know what, droid swords are really good.
Yeah, and they are hard to play, and if you learn them, then not many people know how to play against them, and that's also very important.
I think Dom's advantage is his height. He doesn't get the back pain from it.
You're not wrong. And the other elephant in the room,
big things,
is the force carriers and Zam, because that was a huge points increase. I think apart from Luke Gunner, all the way back when it went from, because I think they originally pointed Luke Gunner at like 12 and went, oh, no one's going to take him for 12, and then made him 30.
Absolutely outrageous price.
Yeah. Basically, they banned him using points, but then Jack Mooney still won a 500-person event with him. But yeah, Grievous and Dooku and Sidious are now really expensive, and so is Zam, and that is good for the world. And Kraken has come down by 2 points, which I am quite happy about. So there we go.
I still think Zam is cheap for what she can do.
Yeah, but you don't want to price her out completely, right? You want to be able to be used.
I think 12 minimum was fair, but
a double tap is a hugely good ability. I think if she started with her charges active, I would argue for 14. But because she starts with her charges inactive, I think 11 is okay.
Yeah. Still gets the locks, dude.
I know, which is why it needs to be 11. Like, it needs to be expensive. But there are not that many ships in the game that can survive for a couple of turns of... basically to get... It's Bosk, right? Like, Bosk is the one that can really leverage that. I mean, even the Mist Hunter starts to look a bit paper thin when you start shooting it. Cool. Right, that was Seps. We're going faster. We're getting better at this. All right, Funwalk, do a thing. Which one do you
Let's
want?
do Resistance, right? Come on, it's my thing.
Okay.
Why?
It's our thing.
Their shit.
I mean,
because AMG is hating us, and FFG was hating us, and everybody is hating us.
I'm quite excited. Resistance is probably the faction I'm the second most excited for in this in this points change. So.
Stuff happened, right? Stuff happened. We can get the big elephant again out of the room. Heroic, flat out 2 points for everybody.
Yep. Which
is
it's fine.
I'm okay with that. Like, I don't rate Heroic as high as many people in the community, so I am ready to sacrifice Heroic every single time to make everything else cheaper for us.
I think it's really interesting because the pods...
I just love the way Funwag's talking as if he's some minority group that's being bullied by the bigger companies.
It is.
It's like, I saw resistance people. You're not a real resistance, Funwag.
No, we need we need somebody to represent us, right? We need somebody to speak for our team.
Fuck me. Bring the power back to the people.
I think Missing Link is just trying to make me angry today. Shout out to Missing Link. All right, where are we? Zori.
I hate everything with resistance.
New Y-Wings. New Y-Wings are interesting. Zori basically gets 2 actions a turn. Pretty good.
Yep.
There's a lot of really weird and wacky abilities in this, which I'm sure are going to see use. Essentially, the Y-Wings are actually 4 points more expensive than they appear here, and they have 9 health, which seems fair. The standard Y-Wing they're actually quite expensive for what they do.
Yeah, I think so. I think the standard, without the wartime loadout, it's a bit too expensive. But on the other hand, the wartime loadout is pretty good for the points, so we are kind of forced to use it.
It is. Well, it's because it's 4 points
Pretty
for
good for
a
the
hull.
points.
It's 4 points for a hull and the shield, right?
Yeah, right. Come on, it's super good for the points.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's if you
But
have a,
it's
if
two
you have a
shields,
look
isn't
at
it? Not a hull and a shield.
is it 2 shields?
But yep. Oh,
It's
let me
2
check.
shields, yeah.
If you
it gives
consider
them a
that-
4 and 5 spread.
If
Yeah,
you,
yeah, it's
yeah, that's fair. So if you consider a shield upgrade is technically meant to be 4 points on a 1 agility ship, then it's a plus 8. So going from 29 for a standard Y-wing up to 35, that's not terrible. It's basically 2 hull upgrades, so it's about the same.
No, 35. You're right.
Oh no, because standard Y-wing is 8, so it's still worse. It's still more expensive. Yeah, it's basically I'm not too much of a fan, so you're probably using the ones with the abilities to make up for that.
Yeah, I believe so. And we can see them going down most likely in the next update, at least the generics maybe.
who on the last Hexail game, which I obviously couldn't see the end of, who won? Did the Y-wings crucify Vader or not? There's like 8 people on this I've seen who were definitely watching it.
Yeah, Fish is here, Toby is here. They can tell us.
Just
But
Toby
yeah, story
playing?
is going to be great, right? But engine upgrade got more expensive, which makes me sad.
Ah, fair.
Y-wings won. Yeah.
So
something
yeah,
like that.
engine to get more expensive by a point. I missed that one in the generic upgrades, which makes Hawks a little bit sad, but it's okay.
Last Christmas tile.
It's all green and red.
Y-wings one, nice.
My camera's shit. I'll take a picture of them.
So what we got? We got, interestingly, the fireballs got a little bit cheaper for the named ones, which is cool. I like the named fireballs. And Kaz didn't really see much play. Yarrick.
Ollie, on your screen, the PDFs, people cannot see the points, I think.
Oh, that's yes. Sorry, let's do that. And then let's move it to. Okay, that'll do. Tart.
Screw the people.
Connor is basically an angel at this point.
Connor's taking a picture, and then he will return his angelic picture. His angelic
Yes.
creating device.
Star Fortress is cheaper mostly all around, which is, I think, a good thing.
I don't think
No.
you can ever balance Star Fortress, right? Because if you make them too cheap, you can spam them with like 40,000 health. But on the other hand, the only other way to make them cheaper is to make ordnance cheaper, and you don't want to do that.
Bring back dots.
Yeah.
Just give them dots.
They should be banned to stop people making bad choices when selecting ships.
Shout out to Chris, who is sitting in chat and is probably just about to shout at people.
Cheaper than a.
Yeah, cheaper venue, right? Like it's
More
a thing.
expensive transports. I think people probably realised that you could spam 4 of them and it was really unfun. But no one really bothered because they're expensive to buy.
You got the double cannon slot now for single laser and stuff, so yeah.
Seems fair. And RIP, 7-point increase for Finn, and 3-point increase for Rose. Sorry, 2-point increase for Finn. I apologise.
Still, right? Like Finn
2
got increased last time already.
Yeah.
Like
2-point for Finn, and 3-point for Rose.
in our new maybe.
Hey,
Upgradeless Finn is solid at 32.
stop
Yeah,
the clock. I'm agreeing with Missing Link. Yeah, absolutely. They should limit the amount of the ships that you can take. Do like dots for ships instead of just dots for pilots. Really good idea.
Absolutely, 100%.
You've just got to take a holistic approach with it because you can't do it with vultures because that's what they're there to do.
Yeah,
with
but you don't do it all across the
certain
board.
ships,
You
yeah.
just do it with certain ships, like Decimated Ghost.
Yeah, do it on the
Big ships,
gateways for too much health on the board, right?
You can
But yeah,
only
Finn
have
getting hard
2 big
himself
ships.
and getting hard by Heroic. Like, this is a double nerf on Finn again, and I am not happy about that, to be honest.
Yeah, Rose Ups does seem reasonable. She was always
It's
really,
reasonable.
really
Like, I was
good with-
abusing Rose and C3PO Todd last year, so
Yeah.
I know how strong it is.
And it's good to see
At the
Merle.
moment.
It's good to see Merle back up to the same points as the Blue Squad because let's be
Yeah,
honest, his
that was
ability is
silly too.
really good.
But the big thing, right? Zizi not up, Lulu coming down, and I like
this is. I am really excited about Ludo coming down. I think because everyone, I've been looking at flying, and I'm going to skip on to why I'm looking at flying hand because this is relevant to Lulo chats. 1 second, scroll down here. Ray Gunner is now 10 points. He's come down by 2.
That was surprising. So
Yeah.
surprising.
I think Han.
Yes,
no, sorry,
it's
she's come
not
down.
a-
She's come down by 4.
It's a situation where you actually have to stop and pause on that one. These are force users.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These
really
are
good.
That's a 10-point force user.
That is a 10-point force user with one of the
It's
best
a 9 now
abilities.
as well, isn't there?
Ray Gunner can be used on attack or defense to turn a blank into a symbol.
Yeah.
It doesn't say front arc, right? You can use it on the broadside.
No,
Oh yeah,
this
use
might be
broadside.
This might be a mistake.
I agree. I am jumping.
Maybe, but I am gonna use it. I'm super happy because like normal Ray, right? 68 points. Han Solo with Ray Gunner
72.
only 72, 4 points more for I6.
As Greg says, really good, but hard to use this point. Yeah, up till yesterday or Thursday.
Okay, so
Like we can see, we'll see Ray Gunner in this meta, like 100%.
so here's a thing. Here's a thing because I've already made it. I'm just gonna drag this over here because everyone can have a look and see at the thing that this Han is. So you've got Corsella, you've got Ray's Falcon. Those are fairly standard upgrades on the Falcon. But I played against this a couple of weekends ago at Brighton, and I didn't realise that this card worked the way it does, because you don't just increase the speed of the manoeuvre, you get to choose any of those manoeuvres of that speed. So you dial in a 1 straight with Han, and then you can just do any of the 2s.
Oh, okay.
Or you dial in a 2 straight and you can do any of the 3s, and all it takes is a stress, and oh look, you've got Ray's Falcon, so you can still boost or rotate, and then you just do a blue maneuver next turn and clear it all with core.
How come no one took that with Ray?
Because nobody read the card,
Probably because no one read the card. So this is really good on Initiative 6 Han, and he's only 85.
Oh, I'm so bored of Han Solo.
It's a resistance Han, come on, he's fine.
This is going to be a pain. Yeah, Ray did need both crew slots. But yeah, this is a really... So I played against this. I played against this and Super Poe. So 2-ship list. I killed Poe in a round, and Han almost beat my A-Wing list. Yeah, it was
Solo.
Yeah, Solo. That one gets a slow clap. That was a good one. I approve.
You walked into that one.
Yeah, it was good.
I really like the situation for Resistance Falcons here, right? You have options now. You can take Rey, you can take Han Solo, you can take different crews and gunners. Like,
you can take a different faction.
No, why would you do that?
Oh god. But yeah, so I think T70's coming down across the board. Few staying at the same cost, which is fine, because
the strong ones.
Snap, standard Snap. Oh wait, they've kept what? I don't understand why they kept Coordinate Snap the same price, but anyway, yeah, just makes sense. Bastion makes sense, and the generics make sense.
Okay, so listen to the 55 points for new Poe, which is not as strong as old Poe, but 55 points for an i6 T70.
He's
excited.
Yeah, 55 points for Commander Poe. Every other turn he gets to do 2 things.
I don't hate that.
I don't hate that at all.
It's pretty good.
I can see it.
It's pretty good. I like
Have
it.
we done Resistance yet? Sorry.
Almost.
Sorry, I'm back.
Almost. M9 going down to 5 is important. That is a really good card. And no one cares about Underslung.
Like, I don't hate the changes, right? Like make Jousty the strongest resistance list got hit hard, but everything else is kind of has more options
I think
now.
all in.
Can I do a small shout out?
Yes.
On that point, there was a store champ today in Preston with the Harlequin guys.
Yeah.
Richard King, a Sith Taker. He made his first cut at the Sith Taker Open a couple of months ago.
Good on Rich.
He actually took a version of McJousty today. He got rid of Jess and he ran 3 Red Squadron, I think, 2 with Heroic, and then Finn and Rose, and came second. So fair play to Richard King.
Yeah, this guy got very emotional yesterday when he got to be a top hit. I nearly fucking hugged a giant man I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, he did. It was his first cut back in was it August?
Yeah.
Or end of July, and then he's come second in the store champ. So
good on
props to him.
Good on him. It's really good to see like the improvement curve of certain people. And what
Also
doesn't...
with a nerfed list as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if he'd stop playing fucking Resistance, he might be kicking ass. Who knows?
I think...
Just wait for next Worlds. Resistance gonna win.
I hope
Yeah.
not.
Hey. Alright. This is my choice now. I think so. We're going back to Rebels.
I mean, you said it was your choice. It's like, this is way
I've
to
waited.
Rebels.
I've waited long enough. Right, let's talk about Rebels.
For a man who won the Worlds with fucking Empire.
I love my Rebels. They make me so
I
happy.
genuinely thought a lot less of you.
Empire
when
was
you told me
business,
you liked
right?
Rebels.
Empire was business, but Rebels is love.
Yeah, Empire was because I needed an ace list. Rebels is my one true love. Jake Farrell.
Purist, man,
Jake Farrell is the best ship in the game. The
I might
B-wing,
agree with that.
the B-wing is at least, even if they didn't make the B-wing the same cost as the X-wing, which still makes me angry. They messed up with this one. Oh my god, that ship.
Hello, Hera, right?
Really good. Oh my days. Why is it?
Oh, she's cheaper than Braylon.
She is exactly the same points as Hera A-wing.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh boy.
Who thought this was a good idea? I mean, I love it, but it's
I mean, it was okay to get her down a bit, right? But how many points is that as a buff?
also Initiative 5
7
B-wing.
points.
Initiative
7 points.
Initiative
degree.
5 B-wing at 45 points as well. That's another 7 point. So both the 5 and the 6 B-wing came down by 7 points.
Whereas the 2/4s that are really good and actually do things are
Well,
still overcosted.
to be fair, those are not overcosted. Braylon is ridiculously good. I can argue that 10 is overcosted, and he actually went up by a point. But the reason that he went up by a point is because he is surprisingly good with the config. So as the config came down
And
by
the
2,
config came down.
It's balancing.
he is technically down by 1. So the config is now free.
B Hera is easier to trap and kill. You're quite right. An I6 B-wing is just weird.
I think that I don't think that 48 is going to be a problem. I think that 48 is too cheap. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's too cheap, but I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I mean, it starts options for rebels to do more high initiative Alpha Strike, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can fit Jake, Luke, Wedge, and Hera B-wing into a list.
Yeah, that's a lot of I6s and I5s. And,
Oh, just Jake is great.
Yeah, I mean, Jake is stapled to every single rebel list that I fly. But apart from that, moving on. Nora Wexley in the arc coming down, always nice. I like Ibby. Ibby in the arc coming down. I generally just moving. Yeah, Jake is the best ship ever. He's the best ship in the entire game. I've been flying him since 2014.
Jake is still the best A-wing for rebels, right? And his points didn't change, so that's a big win for Jake in the end.
Yeah, and I agree with the Fishersborn. Like, it's a genuine choice as to which hero you take. Do you want a hero that stays alive until the end of the game and is a support ship? Do you want a hero that is a jousty thing and sometimes uses her ability? I think both are really cool.
Also, like B-wing Hera is kind of easier to hide behind your formation if you just want forward to victory.
The saddest thing for Rebels is that you can't use multiple types of Hera in the same list. Because you totally would if you could, right? All right. Yeah. Sorry, that was the idea. You can fit Jake, Hera, B-wing, Wedge, and Luke, and a couple of points for toys.
But it means that Heritani list hits harder as opposed to defends better.
Yeah.
So it gives you a nice little skew on how that works.
There's a lot of really, like, as Raviolo is saying there, like, slotting in Hera B-wing into certain rebel lists is already a thing. It's going to be real cool. And for Chris Burnett, the 4-ship rebel is most definitely back, baby. So Zeb, some reason got more expensive. Don't know why.
He was crashing the format. It had to be dealt with. P.S. What does Zeb do?
Zeb, you can cancel crits before hits. That's it.
Wow.
Oh yeah. No, that had to be dealt with.
Yeah,
Too
definitely. Nora Wexley in the Y-wing. Most of the Y-wings got cheaper. Apparently Dutch didn't, but fair enough. He was seeing a lot of play.
Nora is my favourite
Nora's amazing.
rebel pilot.
Nora's really good.
So Seer at 40 points is nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be super interesting to see what people get out of. Maybe you're gonna see Avan. Avan is interesting. Spend a focus to give another ship a extra green dice for the round. Could actually work really well with Hero B-Wing. 2 agility B-Wing once everything tries to diver.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Actually,
it's
yeah.
interesting. Or
Rebels this time have so many choices now.
there's
right?
a lot
Like,
of
all that.
there's a lot of super friends in the Rebel options. It's kind of cool. And yeah, he is the cheapest 3 dice gun.
Yeah.
So
This four ship list is nuts.
Yeah.
Hera, Wedge, Luke, and Jake. I don't even know what to put on them. This is fucking stupid.
you put Elusive on Wedge and Predator on Hera.
Just take the bits.
You put what on Wedge?
You put Elusive on Wedge because it's only 2 points and Wedge always dies. And then you could put Predator on Hera because she wants to pass her locks over. She doesn't want to spend them herself.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go. There is an absolutely stupid list, which is a 4, 5, 6, 6.
You're welcome. I've only
Save it,
spent the
just
last
be
week
safe.
thinking about it and getting stupidly excited.
And you just gave it all away like a fool.
Oh, that's fine.
I mean, somebody's got to.
It's
fly it very
because I
smart.
got a
You're not
better.
that smart.
I've got a better one that I'm not telling the general public about. You'll see that in a couple of weeks.
Ah.
You're about to get fucked, you general public bastards.
But seriously, like that's the. I think that's your starter. Like, if anyone likes 4-ship Rebels, put that on the table and go from there. Like, put in the ships that you like.
What are you gonna joust with this? What are you gonna do with it? You can try and run
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want with
joust
it.
with
You
that.
can fly it as aces. You can fly it as a jousting block. Do what you want.
like 2/3 ace packs.
It's great. Rebels are the most exciting thing for me out of this points change. Shall we get on to the thing that I think has most other people stupidly excited? I'm going to skip
Let's
over
go.
Sedge because we don't care. Because E-Wings. E-Wings now have a sensor slot. So you can take pattern analyzer on them, which is great because they always K-turn. And they are now a lot cheaper as well.
Like, oh boy, right? Oh boy.
Yeah, 4 A-wings all running fire control systems.
Sorry, tech, yeah. The one that means pattern analyzer and advanced optics.
So Hexal had this
yeah,
today. What's his name? Netter, whatever it is.
Netta,
Was
yeah.
running it, but we were already thinking
Oh,
about it. It's like this is now 24 hull with 3 target locks on everybody,
Agility.
3 agility, 3 reds, a
Mhm.
decent enough dial. It's got a hard one,
Yeah.
albeit red.
Yeah, they're good.
This is generic spam in half.
Yep.
But it's going to be really good generic spam.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Netter, there you go. There he is.
Hello,
And
Sammy.
not even the Genix, right? Like Corin got -3 points, Gavin -5. That's like you can do stuff with that.
Yeah, they're really good. I like
And
them.
I've heard it today already, right? Like Gavin Swarm, like Gavin as the crit enabler, and then you put a lot of cheap ordnance carrier for robots in there.
I mean, I was if you like targeting synchronizer, just see how many cheap missile carriers, either A-wings or Z95s, you can fit with either a standard B-wing or Gavin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there's a.
That may be a bit spammy. We can see that. I can see that.
I mean,
What does
what was
Gavin do
the
again?
one I made earlier? Gavin gives everyone marksmanship in your arc. As long as Gavin has the enemy in arc, they just get a crit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
With lots
okay.
of
Yeah.
weapon spam, like lots of missiles and stuff. This could be spicy.
Turns out, if your E-wing target locks something from across the board, and then all of your A-wings have cluster missiles, that's a lot of shots.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Like this is
Yeah.
concerning a bit, right? Like Gavin or other E-wings as the target lock provider, and then all the A-wings and Z's spamming the ordnance.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
fun. It's
Hmm.
fun. So what else? Anything else that's really important? Hera obviously got the big nerf bat, which is why I'm talking about B-wing because meh.
She's deserved it.
Sabine went down by 2. What the hell?
I don't understand. Like, out of all the A-wings, I didn't see any of them that needed to come down in points.
She was probably appropriately costed at 37. Her ability
Yeah,
was
I
really
believe so
good.
too. But we take the wins, right?
I mean, I'm not going to complain, but she probably should have
Yeah.
stayed there. Luke
I agree.
was interesting, come down from 61 to 62, which is cool. Not many people were using him, so fair enough.
Yeah, like I know, like
Thane?
I've seen Max Brooks said that they wanted iconic characters like Vader or Han Solo to be always strong. So giving Luke a bit of a nudge here to get strong too.
Well, Luke is strong.
Yeah, he's really
He
good.
is strong. He's
really good.
stronger now, which is
It's
fine.
whether you can afford him.
Thane,
And now he's in a list with
Yeah.
another two fucking i6s and a backup.
Nice. I like it.
Thane is incredible, but I really like Kulby because Kulby is basically an A-wing. Because if you give him an R4 astromech, the way that this ship works is that he can open his wings when he boosts, when he does the boost off the config.
Yeah.
So every single turn you close your wings, you then do the focus into boost. So you give him an R4 so he can hard 2 focus boost every single turn. So he's a 3 dice attack.
Nice.
He's a fang fighter.
He's a fang fighter. He's great.
Oh yeah,
And
with
he's-
shields. I love it already.
And he's only 45 points. So like as a ship, he's pretty fun.
Save that.
He's pretty
No
fun.
block.
I really like Colby.
Yeah, like
Someone used him against me about 6 months ago, and that one went into the I need to try out this ship box, and now he's got 2 points cheaper. So yeah.
I think Adam Freeman made cut with him at the Sith Taker Open as well.
He's a really good ship. Levan is I can't remember the ability exactly, but I mean it's got cheaper, initiative 3, so fair enough. Okay, and I tell you what, Intimidation Sabine is now only 29 points instead of 32, so there we go. It's pretty good.
Prepare to all be bored to death by Ollie.
I mean, you can fit Dash, Shattering Shot Leia, and Intimidation Sabine into a list. That's pretty scary. You can even get Trick Shot and Dash if you try real hard.
Too much reading.
Anyway,
too much reading.
Ghosts got cheaper. That's nice. I mean, they're pretty cheap anyway, and now they're a lot cheaper. The Lothal got more expensive.
I'm telling you,
because-
Hera with advanced sensors, that's gonna be a thing. Just a big punch into your face every turn.
Yep. And the big boy. The big boy lost his gunner slot, so no more double tapping dash. But
I did.
You're not the big boy.
I'm
Took me
the
a minute there. I was like, fuck me, Liam. What did you do to Dash?
Yeah.
Oh, you are Dash.
Yes.
You are
but
Dash.
but I am very excited for what you can do because the title for Dash came down to 6 points.
Man, like,
How much was it?
11?
Yeah. That's a lot cheaper. And Dash is really cool. I really like Dash.
the other the title
think-
minus 8 points.
Yeah.
Minus 8.
-8.
Yeah.
And Dash
Because
himself
it was 14.
got-
Jesus.
Dash
It was
came down from
14.
86 to 79. So
This could be
He's
a
got to
stupid
be a
move,
lot
right? Like,
better at flying him as well. This isn't a ship that could just fly in and hit everything. He can only
Yeah.
hit one target now, so
Yeah.
you've got to be a little more reserved when flying
he
him.
is a really, really fun ship to fly if you get him right. I really like Dash, and I'm looking forward to putting him back on the table because he now has points for, like, again, looking at the Wedge Hera B-Wing combo, you can put Wedge Hera B-Wing Outrider Dash with toys into a list. So 665.
thing is now for Dash, right? With him and Outrider getting a lot cheaper, you can actually put something like Season Navigator on him
Yep.
and make it worth the points.
A
So
fish
the
is
flying
born.
thing, it's getting easier for you.
Yep. There we go.
Season Navigator is the crew, which says for the 7 points after you reveal your die, you may set your die to another non-red maneuver of the same speed.
Yep.
While you execute that maneuver, increase the difficulty, and
Give him Kanan.
not too bad on Dash.
Give him Kanan.
Dash's
Flip
ship
the
is
Force. Don't
cute.
care.
The YT-2400 is a good looking ship. It's not ugly.
I have one issue with the YT-2400.
Mhm.
Is that because of the way the ship is laid out, I feel like it should have difficulty turning one way more difficulty than it should have turning one way than the other, like the Jump Master.
Should we have a conversation about space physics? Because I can tell you now, it's fun. One of my students this year is actually doing a mini dissertation on exactly why Star Wars physics is broken.
Nice.
And when your student submits it, I'm going to beat the crap out of him for ruining my dream.
Oh no, he's like, it's fun. Like, we've both very much enjoyed talking about it. Turns out when an X-wing jumps to hyperspace, it converts enough energy to the pilot that it would literally tear apart like not just the atoms, but the actual nuclei would be torn to shreds. Yeah, Big Bang all over again. Fun. Anyway, that's my other job.
Ollie's a physics teacher.
Lieutenant Blount is only 29 points.
He's so good.
He's
He's a
down
great
by
filler.
3.
Yeah. Amazing.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm done at this one, guys. Sorry, I was
Yep.
going to try and hold on, but I can't.
But I went super fast through Rebels. You made it to the end of Rebels. Good job.
Good job, man.
So I'll let you guys finish up. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.
Bye.
Right, man.
And now
Bye-bye.
my screens are going to go weird.
It's
Sorry.
fine.
That's
it's
right. We can
fine.
fix it. We can fix it.
Just leave your camera on and let us watch you sleep.
I have a thing. Fun walk. There is now 2 of you.
It's fine. Like just behead fun walk, right? Like nothing can wrong with that.
No, there's 2 fun
Oh,
walks.
oh, I can see that.
There we go. There's
Can I point out that now we've had points drops on both Heras? Her and Blount seems like a really strong combination.
yeah.
Mhm.
What B-wing?
Oh, not Hera, sorry, Nora.
Yeah. Agreed. I think Nora Y-wing with some form of munitions plus Blount plus something like Colby, you can make a really interesting 4 or 5 ship list with that. I think 5 ship Rebel, like Sabine in the A-wing, Wedge in the A-wing, Blount in the Z95, and then a couple of other things. Because I mean, that is 99 points for Sabine, Wedge A-wing, and Blount.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff.
And people, listen to me. If you fly Nora Y-wing, right, put afterburners on her. Just trust me.
Oh yeah, Nora Y-wing with burners is great. So yeah, it's really interesting. Rebels have they've bounced back. They've bounced back in a big way.
Yeah, I can see Rebels being the big winner of this points update, actually, with all the stuff they can do now.
There are some scary things. We haven't even got on to talking about Lando yet with Gonk, because we talked about that at the start, but it's going to be good. Alrighty, we're almost hitting 2 hours. We've just done all of the Rebels in record time, so we have Scum and Republic to finish off. Oh, we got to do Empire as well.
Right?
Shall we just move through in order?
Let's go. Just do that.
Do Empire. So, what is important and interesting in Empire? Let us see. What do we got? Boop. There we go. So, gunboats, meh. Kasabi, no one really cared. Still,
I don't know what
cares.
Kasabi does.
He's got a garbage ability. It is not useful. But Kagi and Sai and Standard Omicron, that's a nice points dip. And the ST321 title went down as well. So I think we may see a bit more shuttle in the future, which is really cool. I'm just going to take a second to bask in the glory of this little bastard going up in points as well as passive sensors. Fuck you, Fifth Brother. And, yeah.
And there's only one person we have to blame for this. And that's Julian.
Thank you, Mr. Hood.
Thank you, Mr. Hood.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just fair, right? All the increase getting up. That's like, nobody will complain about that. Never, ever.
No. And, I mean, to be fair, it wasn't all Julian because Seventh Sister stayed the same points.
He used her as well, didn't he?
Well, so, Sammy, Fifth went up by 2, but passives for Initiative 4 also went up by 2. So the total increase is up to 54 points now. So it's gone up by... No, sorry, that's 5. So it's gone up by 5 points total. Sorry, carry on. Yeah, Jules used Seventh Sister too. So yeah, still a thing. And I mean, I'm not too sad about Inquisitors going up. 5 sight is dead. Proton Inquisitors you can still do, but you only have 5 of them with Disciplined.
Yeah, but probably nobody will do that because that's how nerfs work, right? People are not using the other version now.
I think it'd
also Inquisitors going up is super fair.
They were really good.
Yeah,
I'm sure
they're still cheaper than their release price, right? Like, come on.
I'm so curious.
I will mention that 5 Inquisitors with Foresight is such a low level, like it's such a low skill level. I used it once and I absolutely smashed my opponent. I'd never used it before.
He's fishing. He is fishing. But I'm really curious because 200 points for 2 Foresight Inquisitors and the Vader. I'm generally curious if people would be interested in flying 5 Inquisitors and Proton Rockets. I'm wondering if that's a thing. One sec, I'm going to build it now. Let's just dump this over here for a second because I'm curious about this list. I'm just going to make it a bit smaller so you may have to zoom in, but that's fine. Right, we've got V1s. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a Proton Rocket on it. I'm going to clone it. 4 times, and then I'm going to make one of them fifth brother with passive sensors. Oh look, that fits. There we go. You got 2 points or something. Force points. Brilliant evasion. That'll do. Okay, 200 points. There you go. 4 Proton Rocket Inquisitors. You never needed the thread tracers anyway. Don't lie to me. You never needed them. And then you've got homing missiles and passive fifth brother. There we go. All you people sad about Inquisitors, try flying that. You'll make people just as sad.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd still go with the homing missiles on fifth brother.
Yeah, that was my point. You make fifth brother homings, and then you have 4 Proton Rocket Inquisitors still.
Oh, I'm watching the stream, so I'm like.
Oh yeah, sorry.
10 seconds behind you.
I caught up. But yeah, that's it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
You might need some level of skill to fly that as well.
Debatable. Alright, so 4 prockets is a lot easier to dodge than 6. They never had 4 procket. They never had 6. 2 of them were thread tracers. All you've done is you swap 2 thread tracer Inquisitors for fifth brother. That's the swap, and turns out it's a lot harder to dodge fifth brother than it is to dodge thread tracers. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that one there for anyone that was sad about Inquisitors. I am really happy about the X ones going down in price. Seems cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared.
I mean,
simply because I've seen what Tim King can do with these.
Oh god, yeah. Well, they haven't made the generics cheaper. That's important.
He won't care.
Also true.
He'll take full generics and Marek.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marek's still getting cheaper as big, right? Like that is just a good ability and a good ship.
Marek's good. Ved, like Juno, old Juno, she was good.
Mm-hmm.
Visor, no one really used Visor because coordinate is you can just take the thingy and get the coordinate.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Kestel is cool, but only down by 1 point. Vader down by 3. That's cool. I hope we see more play from Vader. Volt and Dobbs also good because they were way too overcosted. Standard Delta down by 1, also cool.
Like the generic Delta, he was 67 already, like a cup. I think last year, right? And then he went up 1 point for whatever reason, down to 67 again. He's never gonna be a 66, guys. Like never. Come on, triple defender is something of the past.
But the only way they'll let you take 3 of these is by taking the config at a -1.
Yeah, the elite one. I can see that, and I would be good with that because the elite 1 and 3, it's very much manageable.
Nah. Yeah, I suppose if they don't get evades, that's a bit more acceptable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like even like the normal defenders, triple defenders, right? Like even if it's not OP or super broken, it's just so annoying to fly against. Like no fun at all.
What's super interesting here is they decided to reduce Sintir by a point. I don't know why.
I think it's because of the upcoming changes.
Yeah, that could be like a future thing.
I still don't think that Sintir needed to go down by a point.
Never.
No.
Is something
I think
his upgrades? No, all his upgrades are the same, right? He usually takes.
If they do go with the alternating initiative and points deficit on bids, I do think him being at 53 is kind of fair. But until that falls into place, he's 100% undercosted in what he is now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think 54 was perfect for him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if it changes much. I mean, it's only a point, so thankfully on aces that aren't being spammed, a single point doesn't do too much. I still disagree with it, but it's not. I don't think it's going to break too many banks. Nash going up is great. Alpha going up is surprising, but I don't disagree with it. Sabers, same thing. That's technically a 2-point upgrade because Disciplined went up by 1 as well. Again, reducing spammability. We've seen this before. That's a good thing. I am really excited about these. Yeah, I am super excited about these. Howl Runner down finally to a decent level again. TIE Fighters cheaper again.
Quite a lot cheaper, right? Like most of them are -2 points. That's a lot of points in a swarm to play around.
I have been building 6 and 7 ship TIE Fighter lists today, and it's been great. You can fit the 8-ship Howl Runner again.
Yeah, you can. Like Anna was playing it on Hexite like before our cast. And he was slapping people with that 8-ship TIE Fighter Swarm with Hull Runner. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
I mean, I think it's important to have the original Imperial TIE Swarm in the game.
I agree.
Yeah.
So it was there from the beginning of 1.0. It had to be because
Yeah.
of how limited, well, the limited access to ship variations we had. So I think getting rid of Hull Runner originally over Costner killed one of the staple
Yeah, it's sad.
lists of the entire game. I think it's good that it's back.
And what's really cool is you can make the 8-ship with just Howrunner. You can make a 7-ship with Howrunner and Iden. Or you can make the 6-ship Inferno Swarm, as Sammy is saying, and you've still got a load of points to spend on like crack shots and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I know that
elusive crack shot, like lots of things you can put on the TIE Fighter.
Yeah, Martin Chivers was getting really excited about that, which is he is one of the original TIE Swarm monsters, so that was cool.
I'm a bit concerned because when I started in 2nd edition, I got slapped by TIE Swarms quite a lot.
Yep.
Still have a trauma.
Yeah, but again, 3 health, and I think that is a big difference.
Right.
That is a
And
big
we got more
difference.
options now to deal with that, right? Like new bombs, new stuff to just delete TIE Fighters.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're just
should be fine.
seeing it on the table is just pretty.
Yeah, it's iconic. It's very iconic.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And especially if we get that decent 4-ship Rebel list with like X-Wing, X-Wing, B-Wing, A-Wing versus a TIE Swarm.
Yeah. That's gonna be the World's 2022 finals, right?
Come on, it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I hope
Unfortunately,
so.
I cannot fly a TIE Swarm for toffee, so... right, Sigma has gone up by 1, probably because Duke went down by 1, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rampage, cool. I like the heavies. I think they're really interesting design space, and no one was flying them.
They all needed to
North
come down, right?
models.
They were just overcosted last time.
I'm very excited by the Strikers coming down by a few points. Countdown down by 2, Sabak down by 1, which is awesome.
By the way, for the TIE Heavies, I think the configs also got cheaper, right? If I remember correctly. So that's a win-win for them, actually.
Yeah, they've come down by 2 points each, technically. Or maybe 3. But yeah, they because the configs are now free on the heavies. One of them is free, and the other one is... They came down by 2 points each for the configs. So the maneuver one is free, and the target assist is now only 1 point. So these things have effectively come down by 3 points, the heavies.
Nice. Like, love to see them more on the table.
Yeah, for sure. Are you guys striker people?
I really enjoy it.
I just cannot fly them really well yet.
I love Duchess.
Yeah, she's great.
Duchess is amazing, especially with Fifth Brother as well.
Yeah.
You pretty much getting 2 evades each time as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a striker with training wheels.
Yeah, Duchess is incredible. Yeah, countdown people underestimate. Just being able to lob him, like if you get countdown to the end game, just going, cool, I'm a joust you. You cannot do anything about this.
Take
I'm
one
a
damage.
massive fan of Vagabond as well.
He's interesting.
Vagabond was the Bomby one, right?
Yeah, I
2
haven't
bombs,
used him.
2 bombs a turn.
But I really like the idea behind him.
Drop 1
But
in between.
I like this general theme again, right? Like putting down the named ones which didn't get play on points and putting the generics up. I think this is a right choice for an AMG.
Yeah, because
Taking X-Wing.
spamming things is meh.
Yeah. Limited things getting cheaper. I'm all for that.
I think what's very important as well, just want to make a note of, I'm not against swarms. I think swarms are a really interesting design space. I enjoy playing against them very much. I've never really been a swarm player, but I love playing against them because aces versus swarms is what X-Wing is to me. That like when you're like as the ace player, if you fly a good game against a swarm, it's so rewarding. And if the swarm player catches you, it's just like, oh man, like often because like he's gone through an asteroid and blocked your ship or whatever. Like that's the good like backwards and forwards game of X-Wing. It really makes me sad when it just evolves into all of one type. So I hope people don't think that I'm just going, oh no, swarms can go away. I just think that the overpowered things being spammed is a boring design space. I think it's nice to have swarms in there in certain aspects, like TIE fighters and everything else. Like you've got good lists in there. Decimators down, probably a good thing. It's nice to see.
I don't care for them, to be honest.
I'm a little bit worried about Morna Key getting cheaper. I think she's actually really good.
Like Decimators getting cheaper means usually they can slot in better upgrades or crew, which can be scary.
Oh wait, what? Oh god.
Oh,
Oh god. Defender
Palp
Vader
works on
and
Defender
Rack
Vader, right?
with Palp. Yeah, it does.
Oh no, told you so. Don't make them cheaper.
Oh no. Okay, that needs a test. I need to try that.
Let's go. Let's go.
I need to try that.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that actually.
That's interesting. I still don't think that Defender Vader is too much of a big deal. I worry about when you can fit him with Palp. I think they may have just made a monster.
I mean, Ruck, he's like super good and tanky.
Yeah.
You can't afford to avoid Rack.
Well, that's the
You
problem.
can't afford to ignore Rack.
You can't ignore. You can't ignore either of them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
It
the
takes
problem.
much time to kill the pipe carrier with Ruck on the board. Like
Yes.
pipe carrier in a shuttle, you could deal with that kinda, but in a decimator, wow.
And time to make Marcel happy. I'm just about to say mean things about Marcel if he's still hanging around, but Sloan got the bat, and
Which is good. Which is very good because we saw it earlier, right? All the crew carriers got cheaper. You can't make Sloan like the same points. Has to go up.
Yeah,
He's still here.
Yeah, Marcel is still there. Yes, he is. But no,
Yes.
I'm happy about that. I'm very happy about Sloan going up.
Absolutely the right choice, right? Like
Yeah.
if you make all the carriers cheaper, you can't let Sloan be. She has to go up.
Yeah.
And I'm like I really hate the card because it's just like the antithesis of X-Wing, right? Like you're getting punished for killing ships. Like that's NPE, 100%.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like it. Jagerod is also really fun. Boosting decimators is great.
Well, that's caught me out a couple of times.
Yeah.
I've flown against Jay Koskela,
Oh
the
yeah.
Hanover system open winner, and he used that against me, and I had to ask him several times. I was like, "This is what happened. Like, you're not just taking the piss out of me right now and just trying to do what you want."
And then he
No.
crashes into you in Dauntlesses as well.
Yeah, he no Vaselined me hard, but he's such a lovely guy.
He is.
No, he's
He is.
super
Was he
cool
flying
guy.
it with Whisper or with Suntir?
He was sitting here with all the upgrades.
Nice.
I am slightly concerned because he's been flying that Decimator Suntir for a very long time. If Rack and Vader is a thing, Jerry flying...
I don't think he likes the new Vader.
I don't think he likes New Vader either, but if he can learn to fly it, oh god, I am scared. Because that man can fly Decimator. And I think you don't put on Palpatine, you put on Jagerod and a couple of other toys. Yeah. Oh god, Jagerod with Duchess. Oh no.
Nice. I like the idea.
Yep, like that.
I mean, fish is something you can fly on Hex, right?
Bank hard one.
Can you get Jagerod, Duchess, and Vader with Palp?
X1 Vader, yes, not Defender Vader.
Oh, that sucks. Screw AMG.
You cannot fit anything else with Defender Vader and a Decimator. I'm fairly sure that's the case.
Oh no, it wouldn't be a Decimator. It'd be a cheap.
Ooh.
Harrier.
Oh.
Yes, because you can put Jagerod in a Reaper. So yeah, you can.
Reaper, 46 points with Jagerod. That's very cheap. Oh, boy.
And then you can probably fit Fifth Brother on the... You can maybe fit Fifth Brother on Duchess at that point.
Oof. And then you get Vader. Do you get Vader as well?
Are we actually going to build this?
Defender Vader.
Shall we
Like,
build
if
this?
you're using Defender Vader with Reaper and Jagerod, that's 158 points. That's 42 points left for other stuff. Like, yes, it fits. I'm not happy about this.
All
Liam,
right.
what have you done?
Tidy, Vader,
Too many people
I
watching.
listened to A Fish is Born.
Reaper, Crew, Jagerod. Then we go for Duchess. Where's the striker?
Don't do it. Too many people watching.
That's fine. They knew what
No,
they
I
were.
want to see this on
they-
Hexal tomorrow.
They knew what they were getting. No, see, you can't fit it. It's too expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you can downgrade Duchess, right? Like,
You can put Sabak in there.
yeah, because the back countdown still.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you still get the repositions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think I mean, I think this one is the scary one, right?
It is.
13 points. Oh, okay, so you can get to Gerard. And because it is so much fun, you put a Coronet on the Decimator as well. Because you can boost and then Connor. That is a thing that you can do. And then do you Tactical Officer? I think you Tactical Officer, right?
Yeah, might as well, right?
Oh,
2
no,
points?
no, sorry, you
3
need Dauntless on that Decimator. You can fit Dauntless with your Gerard.
Ah, that's true. That's true.
Then with 2 points, BT1 for crits, double crits. You've no longer fit bombs. Novice Tech. Novice Tech. Hey, there's the point. No, it's 3. It's 3 points. 2 points. Brilliant Evasion Vader. No point in doing that. Yeah, I think this is the point where I genuinely go and put Novice Technician. Yeah.
Isofan is not happy.
Oh dear. Oh dear. But yeah, so that's something like that is a thing that you can do.
I think Isofan's also right. You don't need to use the Rock, right? You could also use the Oikon, for example. It's still very tanky. Decimator as a carrier.
Yeah. Or I mean,
tricks with more upgrades.
Monarchy, double reinforce. Lots of things.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't mind sending me that list on the slide there, Ollie.
I believe in your list building skills, Liam.
I'm tired.
That's fine.
I have to watch this back.
That's why I put it on the screen. Yes. There we go. What's he put there? Vader Defender. Oh god. Oiken. Intimidation. Gerard Coronet. Dauntless. That's not okay. Anyway.
But let's be honest. As soon as you get past Oiken, you're fine.
Yes.
He's good for 1 turn.
Right. Other important things. Palpatine up by a little bit. ISB Slicer. Another obnoxious list. You can fit 5 Reapers, all with slicers, so that you jam and that doesn't get removed. Because no one wants to have fun, and then you can never turn around. But it's fine because your opponent never gets any actions ever. Disciplined up to 2 is good. Palpatine up to 12 is fine.
Yes.
Okay, 2 to go. Let's have a look at Scum.
I like having the Republic last. This also the Republic is funny to talk about, so it's a good finish.
Yeah, Republic's a good finish. I'm going to I'm going to deal with this one first. I'm going to pull one out for Phil GC because Phil GC is slowly coming back into the world of X-Wing. For those of you who might have missed him, he is.
If you're going to mention this one ship, I'm going to hurt you because it's not the end.
It's not the end, but it hurts. It does hurt. I'm going to need to... Why is this? This is going to need to go up to like a specific amount of things. Oh, it's really annoying. Sorry, people. You're going to just have to zoom in. It should be fine. I'm going to mention Guri. Because... Yeah. Because Guri's lost her advanced sensors, which is going to make people sad, but she is flyable without advanced sensors. And I think removing the advanced sensors slot from her allows her to come down to cheap enough points to be interesting, because she is now only 60 points. So, there we go.
So, because she's now gained the tech slot, we can start seeing either a pattern analyzer Guri or a prime thruster Guri.
Yeah, one that K-turns and, like, instead of just always being in the side, she knife fights a bit more. And, yeah, she's still pretty good. I think it's really interesting. I also think the ship at the top is really cool because IGs are now a hell of a lot cheaper. And I hadn't even done the maths yet, but Isophane in the chat, 3 IGs with Fearless and all with the title fits.
Nice.
You don't get the good one, but it doesn't matter because you're not using cannons.
I mean, also Timo Rabe with a double IGs list should have a points discount now. Should be happy about that.
I mean, that's a really good list, isn't it? 3 IGs. All with Fearless.
You want to fly the triple defenders? You can fly it now.
Yeah,
with triple IGs and Fearless.
Boost into evade.
Goes on the list to try.
This is really good. This is really good. I'm very curious about that. I'm very, very curious about that. Okay, what else? So these are going to be really cool. You're going to see more IGs. Watch out for them. Y-Wing's going down is standard. Everything went down. That's cool. Cad Solus, no one really minds. Bobber down by 1 point. Cath down by a lot. Or maybe just one. Not.
I think it's only dropped down 1 or 2.
Celebrations, the crowd goes wild. Cartel Spacers got hit by the Nerf bat by 2 points.
Which is fine.
Apparently they were that much worse than the FO. Yes, so that's fun. I like that. And interestingly enough, they reduced the costs of things not named Seavor, so Nobby will be relatively happy. Again, with the same trend of reducing the named pilots, right? Which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Seavor's too expensive. He should come down to 25.
Waiting for Nobby explosion in 5, 4, 3, and 2.
He's coming.
Depends what the delay on the chat is. I mentioned the word Seavor. Like, we've said it 3 times now. He should just appear behind me, just like an angry ghost.
Yeah.
He's probably having a stroke.
Or he's bought his plane ticket already. I'm not sure which. But this is really cool, and I know that Andreas is going to be really interested in this. Which is the Skirgs coming down in cost.
Yeah, that's just the thing, right? Flying Skirgs.
It's going to be interesting. I haven't really had a good look into Scum list building. Scum was I've had a really good look at Rebels and Republic at this point. Rebels and Resistance. Scum is the next one on my list because apart from weird janky stuff, Scum hasn't actually been in a good list building point for a little while, and I think it's now super cool with IGs and a few other things getting cheaper. The nonsense wombo combos has been good, but it hasn't really for me felt like flying X-Wing. It's more, I got you, you fell into my trap with the combo. Like the 3 big ship Scum kind of deal, or like the Torquil with Auto Blaster Swarms. There was a very easy add to 200, and then past that, meh. So yeah, I'm really curious.
Andreas has he's blessed us with his presence.
Hey, hello. Good to see Andreas. Yeah, it's good to see that. I'm really, really curious to see how that goes. We talked about Star Vipers and how Star Vipers are cheaper, which I think is good for everyone. The Assassin, sorry, Mitch, they are still nerfing you. Apparently, Worlds was not enough.
Which was fine.
A decently upgraded Guri, Fearless Fen, and Nim fits.
Oh God, yeah, Guri's still good. You just have to fly different. Fly more like Dale, like lobber in someone's face. Turns out Star Vipers are still pretty good when they have a calculator and a focus.
Oh yeah, also as Andrea said, Dalen with prime thrusters.
Yeah, you're gonna make a barrel rolling and nonsense. The YV's not named Bosk went down a little bit and made sure that you can't fit 4 of them in a list still, which is good. On a similar vein, our good friend Andrew is down to 28, just as all the other Zeds got a bit of a decrease. And what else? Boba Crew, no one really cares. Django, meh. Gleb, good.
Yeah.
Zam, good.
Java went up to avoid all the illicit spam.
Bye bye
with
Wobbo
new
combo.
illicit cards.
Interesting. Down by 2 points or 1 point. Han Solo is cheaper. And Cutthroats, because that nonsense Cutthroat list existed for all of 2 seconds. Then someone saw it and went, no, this is not the right kind of fun. Because it's not fun. Interesting. Okay, and IGs are still at 1 point.
Like, not too much change for Scum in general, like in comparison to all the other factions, but on the other, it's Scum. Like, they always find good stuff. Like,
yeah,
I think this points change for Scum is more about bringing the previous extreme points changes they've done just back into line a bit, going, oh no, we can drop this a bit, we can up this one.
Yeah,
there's nothing drastic. They've just changed Guri, so she's had that big drop.
Yeah,
but they've changed how that ship flies now.
Agreed. And I think what's really cool is that Scum, as I was saying, Scum list building was obvious. for quite a while, and I think now they've taken the really broken stuff from all the way up the top and they've brought it down to the middle, but they've raised a couple of the other bits that were lagging behind also into the middle, and they've now thrown all the toys at everyone and go, okay, you're not allowed to use the things that you have been using, so now go find something else and see what happens, which I think is cool.
They will find something else. It's scum. Like, their pocket is so deep.
It's going to be fun. And already people are thinking things. Launching a chaff cloud enables Shattering Shot Asajj and Trick Shot Han. Like, scum players. Oh dear. All right. So, last one. Shall we do the last one?
It's time. It's time.
We're almost
Let's do
done.
Separatists again.
We're almost done.
Let's do Separatists again.
So, wait. Did I hit the wrong one? No. Oh, God. You had me worried for a second. Okay, so last thing we do is these arcs. A little bit cheaper. Sinker and Jag. Those were overpriced because everyone was flying Sinker Swarms, and then we realised they weren't that bad.
Yeah.
Y-Wings are cheaper because Y-Wings should be, and Anakin is no longer a 62-point Y-Wing, I believe. So, yeah, he's a lot cheaper. Oddball has come down. Every single version of Oddball has reduced in price.
Love it. Loving it as Oddball fan.
I feel like
They're really trying.
at some point what someone should do is they should have Sabine versus Oddball, where you have all of the Sabines in one list and all of the Oddballs in one list and see who comes out on top.
Nice.
That's super unfair on the Oddball player because Sabine does get
a Shadowcaster,
A-Wing, a Shadowcaster,
yeah,
TIE Fighter, and the Attack Shuttle.
The problem that
I
you've
think
got,
Sabine is
though,
gonna win.
the problem
Sabine
that you've got is that they have to fly the Sabine Shadowcaster, which is one of the most useless abilities in the game. Oh God!
Yeah, but you just
no.
put the Shadowcaster.
Still a
No,
Shadowcaster, man, right? Like, come on.
The Sabine Shadowcaster, I've always said it's going to be good as long as you could have Glitterstim, but they got rid of Glitterstim. They've just put Glitterstim back in. You can have three calculates at the start of the turn now on the Sabine Shadowcaster. That's interesting.
And can you remind what her ability is again, please?
Her ability is you can add an eyeball to the defense roll, I believe. If
the attacker is in your mobile arc range 0 to 2, may add one eyeball to your dice results.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she's a defensive CLT.
Yeah, she's defensive, and if you give her if you give her 3 calculate tokens and a focus at the start of a turn,
and cutthroat
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think finally the Sabine Shadowcaster is now a thing. We've been waiting for that upgrade. It's not like top tier, but I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. The original version was called Time Walk Asajj because there was no point in shooting Asajj in 1.0 when she popped her 2 turns worth of glitter stims, because she had that upgrade basically, and you just couldn't hurt her because you're just like, oh, I take your stress and take an evade and then add the eyeball and there's no point in shooting her. Because you just put a stop clock on her and said, right, I don't take any damage for 2 turns. So that's cool. Bombs got cheaper. Deltas look like they got cheaper, but actually most of them stayed the same price because the configs got more expensive.
Yeah, I sent you a thing in our Discord group, right? Like, the big change, like now, it's not easy to see on the PDF, but the big change is all the other sprites, the base points got cheaper. For CLT, everything stayed the same, but the Jedi Knight, which got 1 point expensive. And for Delta 7B, all the Jedis got cheaper, but for Ahsoka, who stays the same, and Jedi Knight, who goes up 1 point.
Yeah. And what's really cool is this is the opposite to all of the others, where you now have the option to fly a lot of these things without the config. So Ahsoka for 41 points without any CLT or anything like that is a genuinely interesting thing to put in the list.
It's a great support ship. Yeah.
As Andreas is saying, you might just see naked deltas.
Yeah,
so,
no problem with that.
Yeah,
no problem
and
with that.
Shattering Shot is a genuinely interesting upgrade over CLT. Because for 3 points, you just have to fire through an asteroid and it still works. It's good. Yeah, and you can still, obviously 7Bs are now 50 points each if you take the generics, which is fine. No problems with that. No space for bid, doesn't matter because they run on 200 anyway now.
Yeah, so
I like
that's
it.
a net win for other sprites.
What is interesting is that Anakin CLT is now reasonably cheaper, I believe, which is cool.
Nope, Anakin's
Oh,
same.
it's the
Like
same
all the
price.
CLTs are the same. Just that the 7Bs got cheaper.
Cool.
But
Definitely
for
wasn't,
CLT, everything stays.
definitely wasn't paying attention. Do not be fooled by the Eater coming down in price because they killed the cannon slot. So it now requires probably both Trick Shot and Shattering Shots. I don't know. There will be people that make this work. I'm just not a fan.
No, you've got to be a proper out and out ace player.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You don't die if you don't get shot.
Yeah. Either that or you play like super defensive, like Stealth Device, Elusive. Brilliant Evasion got cheaper, right? Elusive got cheaper.
Yeah.
You could make like an unkillable Anakin and then just like baiting shots with him, maybe. I don't know. Could work.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I don't think the Eaters are going to be the core of the Republic faction anymore. I
Most
think
likely not.
You might see a bit more Yoda as a support ship, or Shakti as a support ship. That could be cool. What I do like is that Lats have now come down to a slightly more reasonable price, which is cool.
Yeah, that was fair. Like they got a bit overpriced from FFG because they were afraid of Lat spamming, but turns out spamming Lats is not good.
Yep. So the Force crew have got slightly cheaper, the Lats have got slightly cheaper, which is really cool to see. Sync are getting cheaper. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. You're gonna see a bit more stuff in Republic apart from just spamming Jedi, which is nice. Marcel got simultaneously buffed and nerfed because Rick got cheaper, but Anakin stayed the same, and then passive sensors went up. So yeah, it's let's be honest. He had so many points of bid on that Republic list that it's not going to make any difference to him, and he's probably sick of flying it right now. But it is really cool to see the Naboo's getting cheaper as well, because they didn't see that much play, and Rick never really needed to be that nerfed.
I mean, look at the Republic PDF, right? Everything is blue.
Yeah, everything is blue. Turns out, yeah. And these things, so these guys got a lot cheaper, and the config went down to 1 point as well, and 0 points for the one that isn't called I Get a Bomb now. So flying something like Tarkin with a Cononet is a really, really annoying thing for 35 points. Which is really cool. Click as well. Click and Tarkin, I think, are the best ones of those. But I mean, for 30 points, you can have a loyalist volunteer with a Cononet just running around going, "Pay attention to me, I'm annoying." That is not important because that is in Epic. And then you got Torrents, keeping the spam thing the same and reducing the generics. So XY can now have his oddball with marksmanship for 35 points, and the Proton Rocket. Right, almost done. Q7 drop down because doesn't care. We already talked about that. Force crew got cheaper.
Yeah, a lot of Force crew got cheaper, right? Like Kit Fisto for 8.
7th Fleet Gunner.
It's come down one as well, hasn't it?
7th Fleet Gunner has got 1 point cheaper.
That's a good one.
It's going to be good with Eaters, I think. I think Eaters with some 7 fleets mixed in could be decent.
Also with naked deltas.
Yep, naked deltas. A lot of things. Shattering Shot, because you're adding dice, it's not the maximum dice you roll. So 7th plus Shattering, you just go ahead and add 2 eyeballs. Ooh.
Nice.
Or whatever.
Aren't you able to get a 6 dice Jedi with that? So you
No,
CLT?
because you can't roll more than 4, so you'd have to get. Oh god, no, you can. Yeah, because 4 is max. Go on, you do numbers.
So range 1, bullseye. So you roll 3. You get Shattering Shot.
Trick Shot. Trick Shot gives you the 4.
No, they can't trick shot.
Oh, they can't trick shot. So you got so range 1 gives you 3. Shattering Shot is add the eyeball. No, sorry, it's not Shattering Shot first. It's the
CLT.
It's the 7th fleet that happens first. So 7th.
Two 7th fleets.
7th Fleet turns it into... No, you can get 6 dice at range 2 and 3. Because 7 Fleets turns it from a 2 dice gun into a 4 dice gun at range 3. You're shooting through an asteroid and you've got them in bullseye. So you add the 2 eyeballs.
It's not going to be strong, right? But it's going to be fun to see it.
I mean, if you manage to pull that off, take a photo and send it to me.
Yeah, you get something. 100%. But, by the way, Kid Fisto at 8, if that's the cheapest Force crew we have in the game right now? Right? Yeah? 8 points?
Yes.
Yes. I think the ability is I am a Force carrier, if I remember correctly.
Put a Force on a Lati.
Oh, God. And with that, at 2 hours 35 minutes, we are done.
Nice. Got everything.
Yeah. No, it's that was a lot, but I think there's a lot of fun stuff in there. What do you think the faction you are most excited for is?
Like, I'm agreeing with you with Rebels. Like, that faction got, like, super buff, and you can actually play a lot of stuff now. I can see Dash List, I can see 4-ship Rebels coming back, I can see Rebels with E-Wing, Swarm. Like, a lot of archetypes you can pull off, I think, and I'm excited to see what, in the end, will, like, be the strong one.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I think the factions that have won are Republic, Resistance, and Rebel.
The R's.
They're all ones that I don't fly. So for me, the faction that's won for me through choice is probably First Order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I've still kept the Manor of Swarm. I've got a new Kylo.
Yeah.
The bombers are really nice. And I can fit Null, Midnight.
Yeah, Midnight is
new
big.
Kylo, and Von Reg in a list. So I'm going to give that a go.
Yeah. That's really cool.
You got lots of new toys to play with, right? Like, that's also exciting.
I think across the entire thing, the biggest losers are Separatists. Because they take the biggest hits.
They did, but the biggest hits were, like, most in Django and Zam, right? Like,
also Dooku.
Yeah.
They were all deserved hits.
Which is
lost
true,
most.
but if you revert back to the usually swarmy, bombery, slippery swarms, I think all the points stayed at least the same, so that's still good.
Yeah.
Still something they can pull off. Yeah, but they're not as exciting as other factions because they didn't get, like, some big buff somewhere, right? I agree.
Yeah. I think very much the case. It's interesting to see how the Separatists... I think it's similar to Scum in this. The Separatists have been forced to change because the Droid Swarm has hardly been touched. The Droid Swarm is still a really good list. And I think changing some of the points on the HMPs is going to make life really interesting. So I think it's going to be interesting to see the direction that people take the list building with Separatists now that they cannot just go to the, Fire Sprays are really good and Nantex are really good. And see what happens.
No one said... I don't think a lot of people really looked at the Nantex anyway. If you couldn't spam it, they didn't really pay it
not
much.
Not after the first one. Yeah, like, sorry, that was more of the... They used to be really good, and then they hit that with a nerf bat, and then everyone's just like, right. Look, these Fire Sprays are really good, and then they hit that with a nerf bat.
I do think, as a community, we have a real bad habit of having something nerfed, and it's going, well, it's been nerfed, so it can't be good.
Yes.
It's more of a, it's been nerfed, it's not as good, but it's still solid. It happened with Malorus when Terex was unable to be added. It happened with Nantex as well. They never stopped being solid, even after they effectively changed the tractor rule.
That's still really
They
cool.
never stopped being good.
So, just before we finish off, I just chatted into the chat if anyone had any questions. So I'm gonna go through and pick some of the good ones. I'm not gonna batter on about Funwatt's face cam. Funwatt has a lovely face cam. It's him working on a nice desk.
Yeah, it's my anime version, right? Like,
exactly.
It's real time. That's exactly what he's doing right now.
I'm taking notes of all these spicy lists I found out about today.
Cool. I like this question. What would it take to make gunboats played more, apart from having them as memes?
Patience. I genuinely think people do not know how to fly them effectively. I think it's a solid ship, solid upgrade variety, and I feel like people really need to learn how that ship flies because it doesn't fly like any other ship in the game.
Yes. Yeah, I'm really glad that someone else shares my opinion on that one, because I have been saying for a little while that a little Initiative 2 annoyance with an ion cannon is one of the best ships that the Imperials can have in the game, because it sits back, and just shoots things with the ion cannon, and there's always the threat of it blocking you. I really like that ship as something like 36 points for a gunboat with an ion cannon. It's really nice.
And it just doesn't get shot if it doesn't want to, because it'll slam out of there.
Doof doof. It's great. What else we got?
Someone said, what's a good Y-Wing list? And I'm just going to say, take the cheapest one, take a wartime loadout, and take ion cannons, and take 5 of them.
Yeah, and if you catch...
Can you do that? 5 of them?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's...
If you catch anything in bullseye and roll a crit, then there's a free damage. They can't block it. It's worth remembering that the wartime loadout upgrade does give you that ability.
Oh, it has an ability actually, yes.
And I need to build that at some point with the marksmanship built in. I'm genuinely curious.
Oh boy, AMG, right? Like, well, FFG, selling it in a double pack, which means you have to buy 3 of them to fly 5. Oh boy.
Yeah, right. So curious. Over to you guys, because we talked about what factions we're most excited for. Have you got a ship that you guys really want to fly with new points changes? Because I think my one is B-Wing Hera. I want to see the B-Wing back.
Like, I was super successful with Rebel B-Wings in the Beef era, right? Like, I can see that coming back. Would be fun. I'm actually excited to see more E-Wings.
Yeah.
It's a fun ship. It's like just a strange fun ship.
Yeah. And yours is Sunfac, Liam.
It's Sunfac, yeah.
Yeah. Bring back the big boy.
Yeah, I mean, I've used Cherto for God knows how long now. It'll be nice operating with full knowledge.
Yes. Agreed. So, I think we've reached the end of the line on that one. But, yeah, that was a good bit of fun. I think we got to a decent amount of communications. I am genuinely, like, I love new points. I'm really curious to see what comes out, and I think this one has so much depth in it.
Yeah.
There's going to be the immediate things that people go, oh, this is really good, but I think this is going to be a meta that changes for a little while. I think we're going to be discovering things. Like, I didn't see the... they're on my list to check out, but I didn't see the Fearless IGs. I need to have a look at that now. There's a lot of fun stuff that is worth looking at, and I have never flown medium base as well. So even when I was back flying the Death Rain thing, I was cheating. But so, yeah, I wanna find out. All right.
I think I didn't double check the number, but somebody on Discord said there were like 300 something changes in the points update, which sounds massive.
There is a lot. Okay, well, I think on that note, we should probably finish off. So, thank you, wonderful people, for coming and chilling and chatting and watching.
Lots of people, right? Thank you for Scott for that.
I mean, yeah, Scott. By the way, as I said before, if you haven't checked out Hexiled, check out Hexiled. And if you haven't subbed to Hexiled, go consider that too, because it's basically Scott's job. And
yeah, he's doing amazing, right? Like,
he is.
5 days a week streaming X-Wing for us for entertainment.
You should go ahead and support all and any of the X-Wing streamers that decide to turn their subs on, because it is not actually an easy job to do that. For those of you who are wondering, this one, where is it? There it is. Boop. It is presently following me, but it is twitch.tv/Hexiled. This thing. Hexiled Gaming. You should totally check that out because it's awesome. And while you're at it, Gold Squadron and all the other things. I mean, you can see I have all of the X-Wing streams down the side. But yeah, do the thing. Anyway, for you wonderful people, have yourself a very good week. I will see you on the table soon. Do some board changes. So it's goodbye from Liam.
Toodles.
It's goodbye from Funwalk.
Auf Wiedersehen.
And Connor has already said goodbye. So Thank you very much, people, and see you soon.